Hi, and welcome to Dice Friends. You may have noticed that this isn't our traditional setup for this thing. One, I'm in the storyteller chair, and two, we're all spread out. That's because we are adhering to the provincial guidelines for film and television here in BC. We're filming Dice Friends at the Belfry Theatre in Victoria. You can see that we are all well and socially distanced. We are being incredibly safe in order to make sure that this content is the best that it can be for you. Thank you. Hello, and welcome to a special presentation of Dice Friends. My name is Jacob Burgess, and it is my absolute pleasure to be your storyteller for our Vampire the Masquerade 5th Edition Chronicle, Not a Drop to Drink, a tale of Vancouver Island by night. What we're going to be doing here is session 0 of our chronicle. We're going to be, as a troupe, as all of us, making the characters and laying out what kind of a story we all want to tell, as well as going over some consent and safety rules for our game. Before we do that, though, I'm not doing this alone. This is collaborative storytelling. So let's meet our players and take a moment to meet the folks that we're all going to be playing with. To my left, your right, I don't know. Would you please so kind as to introduce yourself to anybody in the audience that might not know you?
Okay, my name is Heather Deary. I work with LoadingReadyRun. Usually I run tech for the Dice Friends show, so this is my first Dice Friends appearance on camera. So I'm very nervous, but I have been told that this will be a fun experience, and I like all the people who are here, so I'm excited.
That is the thing that you have been told, and I promise to do my best to deliver. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Cori Dickinson. I work with LoadingReadyRun. If you have any questions you want to direct to me specifically, check out twitter.com/Apsilar. That's where you can find that. I'm super excited to be doing something with Jacob. It feels like it's been years in the making.
Yes, it has. Oh my God, yes. No pressure, though.
No.
No, I mean, it's good that we haven't set expectations.
Yeah,
no, that's fine. That's cool. Anyway, help me, Cam.
My name is Cameron Lauder, and I am a performer, writer with LoadingReadyRun. I am also a stack of Rat Kings in a sweater most days, and I am super excited to be playing a game with Jacob in the driver's seat and playing Vampire again, which I haven't done in this is V5?
This is V5.
I've missed 2 or 3 whole Vs at this point.
When is the last time you played?
2002-ish.
Cool. Anybody watching, and your last time was then, I hope you feel as old as I do. Adam?
Hi, my name is Adam Savdan. I'm also a member of LoadingReadyRun, and I am unsure of what I got into. Vampires are not my choice of storytelling vehicle. So I joined this just to try something different, I guess. Cool. You know, there's I don't want to say stereotypes that I attach to this, like people that play vampire. Yeah. But it's like, I just like all you ever hear about are like LARPs and people taking it very seriously and just but that's cool though, right? Like it's like taking something seriously isn't bad. Yeah. But it's just, I wanted to see what the fuss was all about.
Cool, awesome. Yeah. Well, and it's good to know that I never take anything too seriously. Anyway, so now that we've met our players, this is session 0. This is going to be kind of dirty. because that's what Session Zero is. For those of you that aren't familiar with what Session Zero is, and as I am talking to you, I am also talking to these folks. All of our players have never played this game or have played it a very long time ago, are not familiar with the setting. This is up to me to introduce some new players to this setting, which I love very, very much. Not only that, I write for this setting. So, fuck me, I guess. So, Session Zero is a really good thing to have at your tabletop games, and it's something that I like to do and something that I kind of wanted to do in this format because it's something new. This is something different. It's all of us together are going to be making the characters that you're going to be playing in the game. We're all going to be deciding what kind of a game we want to play and what sort of content we want in that game, and then it's going to be up to me to build that. But as opposed to some of the other formats that you may be familiar with or playing in, I'm going to ask all of you to help me tell this story. My title is Storyteller. It is something that I do take very seriously because it is your first time playing this. And some of you are nervous and some of you are just like, Jacob likes it, let's do it. And that was a mistake. But like we really all, like, at least in Session Zero, like, we should loosen up. We're just, at this table, we're just people. This is our table. I am thrilled to shit to actually be at the same table with all of you. I enjoy all of your performances. I respect all of you as performers. I adore all of you as people. I hope you feel the same way, and we'll see how that goes by the time we're done with this.
A lot of your other players swear they hate you for ruining their lives forever.
Yeah, we'll get into that. That's a bullet point on my little sheet here.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry. No, I will explain.
You got it covered. You got it covered.
I do. I will eventually explain the difference between Jacob and Jaxib. You will meet both of them at this table and in this game. But I don't want to make you pre-nervous. Let's have a good time and be comfortable. So what the hell is a Session Zero? I'm going to just kind of read off my sheet here to make sure that my excitement and my own enthusiasm do not run away with me, because holy crap, does it want to right now.
Yeah.
So Vampire the Masquerade is a game of political and personal horror. You are a normal person and you have become a vampire. And you have within you a beast. And you must drink blood in order to survive. But you must also try and not forget what it means to be human. That's a dark-ass tone. Like, just straight up, that is a dark, dark thing. But you can do a lot with this system. Like with other systems and other games, you can play any kind of game that you want. And here, we're going to decide what kind of game that is. All right? So before we start, before we go any further, what are your top expectations of this game? What do you want out of this game yourself?
Do you mean like narratively or
Anything. Yeah, narratively, like I want to leave feeling satisfied. I want the game to be done and I want it to make, like, I want it to feel like my soul took a satisfying dump. Like, what?
I generally tend to trend towards stories where the quote, I guess there's no, I guess good guys and vampire doesn't feel very like a broad term.
There's people.
There's people, yeah. So I guess like where the players, like there's a risk of losing. Like I like the idea that like in a lot of my stories where whoever the main characters are like have very real risk of either being in danger or of like failure. You know what I mean? Like I like that. I don't want to just like win. You know what I mean?
I get it.
For the sake of being being a PC, like, oh, okay, here you go. Here's the plot keys. Like, hop in the plot car and drive yourself to the ending. It's like, no, yeah. I like to feel like, I do generally find like as a player, especially in games like this, sometimes I need a little bit of hand holding because I'm just like I kind of freeze up sometimes when you give me too many decisions to make.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Spoiled for choice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I get that. All right. Cool. Awesome. Anybody else?
Well, like, I play a lot of RPGs, video game style, and in those cases, the player stuff is already pre-written because the constraints of the game. And when you end up at the table and people want to play like Fiasco or something, you end up having to like set scenes with other people and interact with them as not yourself, and want things that you as a person would not even want, right? Those, in specifically like Fiasco, you're usually like a bad person trying to get some dirt done, and I'm just so bad at that and so uncomfortable. And I'd rather just get some experience. And,
Yep.
Yeah.
And this is, in my opinion, Vampire the Masquerade is a very good way to do that, because sometimes, and I want to be very clear, this is something, as players, you will always have agency in this game. Always, 110%. We're going to go over some safety rules in just a bit after I hear from all of you about this.
playing other tabletop role-playing games with people, they're often stuck in a dungeon crawl in constant combat, and you don't spend a lot of time growing the characters. Like, it's just you're with your friends rolling dice and making jokes.
Yep.
It's not like trying to get into the head of somebody else and express that.
Yep. And like be a person and act according to what that person is or what those needs are.
Yeah.
You will get an opportunity to do that here. Except there's also going to be something else that has its own desires within your character that may run contrary to what your character in that moment wants. And that's part of where the kind of horror and tragedy comes into Vampire the Masquerade. It's actually built into the system. It's a very elegant mechanic, and we'll explain that in a little bit.
Okay.
Kim, Heather, what would you like?
I would like something of consequence to happen,
Okay.
like maybe a fear of failure, or just, I want to feel like we're not just going to run out into a field of puppy dogs and be like, hey, we got some puppies, and end of accomplishment has happened.
Yes.
I want to know that I could die permanently or not permanently,
Yep.
as is the case with vampires.
Yes. It's called the final death because, you already did it once, but that's the last one. Yeah. Capital F, capital D, capital letters, real big in the world of darkness. I personally like them. You will definitely get that because what we do here today, all of your characters' desires and motivations and everything are going to be built into the game that we're going to be playing. I am custom making this based on everything that we're doing today. And I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm going to ask for your help and your input so that all of our desires can be met. And it is my responsibility and all of our responsibilities to make sure that everybody has a good time. There's a difference between a good time and a fun time. I am not guaranteeing a fun time. I am guaranteeing a good time because ultimately this game is a horror game. Yes, you could die. If you make certain decisions that logically lead to your character's death, we're just gonna ride those choices straight to hell. Okay? Sound good?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yes.
Awesome, thank you.
I really enjoy the World of Darkness, at least where it was when I last put it down. I don't remember where that was, but there were things happening. But it's this world in delicate balance. And I enjoy the idea of playing a immortal creature living in that world that has to deal with the thought of eternity, right? This has to keep going. I also enjoy the weird constraint of being this monster, right? That is in some ways very powerful and immortal and wields these tremendous powers, and in other ways is incredibly fragile and vulnerable. And the ability to, there's like a power fantasy and then there's also a vulnerability
Yep.
that I really enjoy and I think would be interesting to be able to explore that.
Yep. One of the ways to play this game, you can absolutely just play it as superheroes with fangs, like straight up, and there's nothing wrong with that. If everybody at your table's like, yeah, no, we're vigilantes, everybody's Blade, fuck it, you can absolutely play that. And if that is the game that today you tell me you want to play, that's what we're doing. I will make it that way. But that's up to you. We can absolutely make sure that you feel powerful and vulnerable at the same time. And that is, again, one of the things that I think Vampire the Masquerade does very well, is being able to feel powerful and very vulnerable. Speaking of feeling vulnerable, he said, segueing excellently into his next point. What we're going to do is talk about safety rules. So safety rules is to make sure that you, the players, because you are not your characters, at no point are you your characters. Your character actions do not reflect you as a person. You as a person do not necessarily reflect your character.
Thank you, Jesus. I'm just totally like, because I am one of those people that will make like, when I play games, like video games specifically,
Yep.
I will make every like renegade or like low percentage choice that I can, just because I like, I don't know, that's just the way I'd like to do it. But it feels like I get punished a lot, not as just as a player, but also as a person. People are like, why would you do that? That's so mean. It's like, yeah, but it's like, it's not real. It's like,
It's a safe fucking space.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No,
your
that's all I
point.
had to really say. Yeah.
And that's the whole point, is that this is a safe space. The world of darkness is meant, and this is where I think, in my opinion, where I think some people get a little cockeyed, is that when you walk in the darkness, you always carry a light. Doesn't necessarily mean be a good person within the context of the game. You may be doing monstrous actions in service of your character and their motivations, or in service of the beast that lives inside of them, now that they're this immortal, slavering, bloodthirsty doom creature that crawls around who fuck well knows where and tries to eat people. Or only eats animals and tries to kind of go the vegan route as far as vampirism goes, because the idea of feeding off a person is sickening. Or you're somebody who, this is your second chance. You hated who you were as a person, and now you just get to be fucking awesome. Everybody loves you for whatever reason. Vampire powers. But this is your chance to reinvent yourself. It depends on the kind of person that you want to be, but we're going to do that in a safe way so that all of you feel safe. So we're going to use two tools. One is called the X card. So the X card, in this, because of the space that we're in, you can physically make a card if you want to, or draw a big X on a thing, but it's just a touch the front of your table, or put a card on. If you touch the front of your table, I know what happens. So if I'm describing, yep, there you go. If I'm describing a scene, or something that's happening to your character, or something that just squidges you the shit out and you are uncomfortable with, you touch the front of your table, I immediately, without asking, with nothing, and all of us have to do this for each other, we take that scene back, we take it in a different direction. Doesn't matter if it fucks up the story, it's not going to. That's my job as storyteller, okay? So if you're just like, hey, I didn't even know this fucked me up and I don't like it, just touch the front of the table, boom. Afterwards, we can talk about it, but we never have to. You never have to explain yourself. You don't have to tell me or anybody shit. If it fucks you up, if you are even uncomfortable with it, doesn't even have to fuck you up. If you're just like, oh man, my butthole puckered at that, I didn't like it, boom, X card, done. We take it back, we take it in a different direction, we continue the story.
Okay.
All right? That's it. Easy. All right? Next is lines and veils. All right? So lines and veils are kind of a way to make sure that the content in the game doesn't make anybody uncomfortable. You know, there's different things that may or may not make people uncomfortable. Now, something that you should know is that in conjunction with some of my friends over at Gehenna Gaming, I put together a consent form for V5. I had all of my players and the producer, Graham Stark, of this show, Graham Stark. I had everybody fill out a consent form with my friends over at Gehenna Gaming, because they do it very well and they're absolutely fantastic at consent rules, and I like them over there. So everybody filled that out, but we're still going to go over lines and veils here. Lines and veils are just a tool too for me to know what you're cool with and what you're not, what you want in the game, what you don't want in the game, or what we do to fade to black. I have some of that information already, but I just want to confirm while we're here. If I ask you a question you do not want to answer, don't. Or if you find yourself answering and suddenly don't want to, let us know. We'll mark it. We cut it. Done. Cool?
Okay.
All right. Lines and veils. So line. Line is a hard line. I don't want any harm to come to a dog in this game. No problem. Done. No dogs in the game. Werewolves? Maybe. Dogs? No. That would be one of mine. That's a hard line because I get to do these too. If one of you is describing a scene and I'm uncomfortable with it, I don't want to participate in that scene. If you ask me, hey, what happens when I grab this guy's head and mash it against a brick wall? If for whatever reason I'm uncomfortable, I get to X card, done. I get to touch, we're done, we're gonna back it up, And we can all do that for each other. One of my lines is hard no. Lines is absolutely not part of the game, hard line. Okay? A veil is fade to black. So for example, sex scene. At some tables, some people are just like, no, fuck it. We're writing fan fiction now. I want to know now. In a safe environment, our characters are fucking. How they doing it? Fuck yeah. How many people can we get involved? Tell me every detail. And some people are not comfortable with that. That's fine. Then you do a veil. So sex is cool in the game, but if you're like, I'm gonna bang that person, I'm gonna use my vampire powers, I'm gonna get them all horny, and we gonna fuck. In a bathroom or wherever, doesn't matter. You get big enough vampire powers, you could sex them in the middle of a crowded club and nobody would see. Maybe you're into that. Who knows? That's up to you and how we set up the lines and veils here. So sex scenes might be okay, and we can describe them in various ways. So for example, if everybody was cool with like, sex scenes and erotic stuff, I could describe them in detail. I'm not going to because we've already veiled that at the beginning. We are running pretty much at a, like right up against PG-13, creeping into R to give everybody a basic idea about where we're at. But to further this example of what a line and a veil is, no sex, like if you lined sex, there'd be no sex in the game at all. No flirting, no romance, nothing like that, no sex. Veil is, I want to seduce the guard person while my friends sneak in the back. So I ask you to roll a seduction roll and just be like, cool, you do that. That's it. If you want to take it a little bit farther, that's okay. How do you do that? Aggressively. Excellent. So we fade to black on the sex scene, and we just described the aftermath of their guard room being destroyed, and then somebody's like buttoning up their shirt at the end. That's it. And then your friends go and do that other thing. All right? So let's just go over lines here now. What is something you absolutely do not want in the game?
Trying to think, because like the form I filled out pretty much covered everything that I would have hard node. And I think I did hard node already. I don't know if you want us to bring that up again. Like
that would be useful for everybody because I'm the only one that saw the sheets.
I hard node cops being assholes. I figure that in today's current social climate, it would be a very awkward experience.
Okay, yeah, and if that's like hard no for you, like no. But I did ask a question that like cops, specifically street cops, municipal cops, but like secret agents and government agencies are acceptable. That's okay.
That's
all right.
fine.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Excellent. Anybody else have one? That you're just like hard no?
Let's see, I don't want to bone any of you explicitly.
No, I said
Yeah.
hard noted boning
Great.
PCs.
That too.
Yeah. No
I'm
romance,
good, thanks.
No romance, no sex. Well, all right. No sex between PCs.
Yeah.
Romance between PCs, or is that just too weird because you've all been working together for way too long?
It's weird to me. I
Okay.
find that like romance between PCs at a table is just weird to me. I don't know. It just comes off as not.
You don't have to explain yourself.
Yeah, just I don't know. Just
Yeah.
doesn't feel authentic or anything.
Done. That's all. You don't have to explain shit. You just have to go, don't like it. Done. Off the table. If you want to explain, feel free. Don't have to. Awesome. I didn't mean to stop you if you wanted to.
No, it's okay. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Cam, you got like a line, like straight up line?
Nothing that I think was on the consent sheet, right?
Anything. It doesn't have to be on the consent sheet. Imagine I didn't have you fill out the consent sheet in this moment. Tell everybody what you wouldn't want in the game, so that not just me, because it's not just my responsibility, it's everybody's responsibility.
Using like mind control powers for seduction.
Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah, that's
Okay.
no bueno.
Hard no? So, this brings up a very good question, because there are two vampire powers. One is straight up mind control. Like you can just go like poop, and somebody will poop. Like you can give them one word commands. And mortals cannot resist it. Straight up can't. Because you're vampires, and you're awesome. But also very vulnerable. But you're awesome, but super fucked. There are powers that are just straight up, you do what I say. It's called dominate. And there's a bunch of different ways that you can use it. There are ways at higher levels to say, hey, Let's get down. Then there's another power called presence. That manipulates emotions. It makes people like you a little bit better, but it is not mind control. It does manipulate emotions, and a huge trope with vampires is like manipulating people and that level of control. So
It's tough because it's like, where do you draw the line, right? Like, it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, I understand. I feel the same way Cameron does, where it's like using it for like any kind of like sexual purpose just feels like super scummy and just like not great, you know? And I understand that's vampires do that, but it's like, where's like, you know what I mean? Like, we need to figure out the line. Like, where is it like, is that okay? Like, is it minor manipulation? Like, if I just make everyone around me angry, like, is that any different really than making everybody horny? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. No. Okay.
I'm just wondering, like, do we just like not have any of it? But it's just, that feels like it takes away some of the flavor of vampires, right?
Yeah.
you don't do it without consequence.
Yeah.
There's all consequence involved in this.
It's
because-
mostly just the sexual stuff that I think
Yeah, that's fine.
I would never do it as a player. Like, it wouldn't be my first decision to like solve a problem would be like,
Let's
I'm gonna
bone.
manipulate this person into sleeping with me for whatever reason.
Manipulating this person into giving you their entire bank account,
Yeah, that's weird.
that's still weird. I wouldn't recommend taking any of those powers. Now, is that something that you don't want to do or something you don't want in the game?
Oh, I just won't do it. Yeah, I don't mind like if other people want to do it, that's
Okay.
cool. Like yeah. It's just mostly the only thing is the sexual thing.
Yep,
Is like
got
I
it.
wouldn't want to watch Heather. I know
bad
she
I
wouldn't,
watch
but
you
I'm just saying that I know Heather well enough to know that she wouldn't do it, but I wouldn't want to sit here and Heather be like, want to bone that person. And I'm like, I'm going to cast a spell. And I'll be like, this is getting weird. And you're like, then I'm going to take them to the bathroom. I'm like, okay, Heather, this is a lot. Yeah. So
I can't see any of us having like sex as an end goal. So if we had like dominate, like mind control, we would do something different than sex, probably.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree with that. But it is worth having the conversation because there are some people out there that don't know you. You all know each other.
yeah.
But this is my first time running a game for you as well. So I don't know that. And it is good for me to know, especially as your storyteller and your fellow player. So it is 100% worth having these conversations. And that's what session 0 is about. So that everybody knows, like, yeah, like, ooh, fuck. So if you're cool with other people doing it, awesome, great. Then, but if that's something you don't want to do, then I'm definitely going to recommend different like clans and powers as we're making your character that do not involve any of that shit.
Okay.
Yep. You could like, we're gonna lace you out with shit you're gonna be happy with.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. All right. So no mind control for sex,
Yeah.
but general mind control is okay.
Yeah. Like the dominate to get someone out of the way.
Yeah.
So you can do something else. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Right. That's,
Like an easy like sleep.
yeah.
Cool.
Go on break.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. And I will also. You can also ask like, hey, if I take dominate, please give me a moment where I can just fuck up somebody reprehensible. Asking your storyteller for things and moments, absolutely within bounds. We're all telling this story together. Yeah, and that's fine. Okay. So no mind control for sex. Absolutely. Okay. I assume sex scenes will just fade to black if somebody wants to bone someone
I'd
or get any
prefer it.
romance.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. But romance can be fun. Like romance, especially in a safe environment,
Yeah.
that can be okay. Is that okay here?
Yeah,
Y'all
I
cool
think so.
flirting with me in
Yeah.
character?
I am okay with if people like if other players are trying to romance like an NPC or something
Yeah.
like that's I'm chill with that. Like I don't.
Okay. Yeah, but among PCs, hard
Yeah,
no.
Hard
I
no.
don't. I don't want to really flirt with my fellow players.
Yeah, no.
You're an NPC or
I
whatever.
am.
Then
I don't
then
count.
I don't mind.
Yep, I totally get that. I am mostly a non-person and non-entity anyway. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, cool. And if you trust me enough to do that and to make sure that we don't go that far, that's awesome. Your line in this, no sex between PCs, no romance between PCs, I don't have to do shit. That's all on you.
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody just keep that in mind. Excellent. Cori, any other lines? you want?
Violence. Yeah.
Violence?
Yeah. There's specifically like joint breaking or hand mutilation.
Okay.
So
All
if
right.
there's like torture scenes where you're tearing off fingernails, no, none of that.
Heart no. Okay, got
No
it.
like crushing hands. And there's like that fight scene in The Matrix where Trinity takes on a room full of cops and she like breaks a guy's elbow, like, ugh, no. Like,
Got
I
it.
can't even watch kickboxing or soccer a lot of the time because
Okay.
something might happen.
Is it joints specifically or?
It's joints.
Okay. Bones are fine.
Bones are fine.
Bones are fine. It's joints. Got it. Okay.
It's teeth for me.
No teeth. Okay. All right.
I know that's weird because it's vampires, but just
No,
like,
no.
yeah,
That's-
like teeth pulling or like
Got
teeth
it.
smashing.
No, I totally get that. Yep. So like in anime and movies and stuff like that, like if somebody's tooth flies out when they get punched, that's bad. You don't like
That's
that.
not that bad.
Okay.
It's kind of like whatever, but it's like they took a pair of pliers and like pulled
Got it. Yeah,
every
yeah.
tooth. Like,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Like, it's
Yep.
just like,
No Russian dentists.
Yes,
Yes,
please.
got it. No Russian mafia dentists. Not that all Russians are dentists.
It's fair.
Yep. So no, you had said no romance. Anybody can throw them out. You don't have to wait for me to call on you. We're
yeah.
all in this shit
I'm
together.
just thinking quick. I'm running over my
Yeah,
list
sure.
of.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's been a while.
I have a real big. I don't think it'll come up, but I have a very big fear of the infinite blackness of space and being trapped out in the middle of the sea.
Okay.
So that's a hard no for both of those.
Got it.
Please.
No problem.
Yeah.
I will make sure that you don't go to space.
Yeah.
I don't know how they would survive in
yeah.
space.
Yeah, and you don't want to go anywhere near the ocean in the world of darkness anyway.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
How bad is it?
It won't come up.
Okay.
That's a line for me. There's one book called Blood Dim Tides that's just all about like, hey, isn't the ocean terrible? Let's make it worse.
Oh.
Yeah. Nope. Nope. It's a great book. It's awesome. I read it once 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm all right. Yeah. Nope. No, the ocean is full of liquid nightmares. Fuck that. Yep. But you will be coming across on the ferry, but nothing fucked up's going to happen that is ocean related.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Some people, I should say, some players might be coming across on the ferry, depending on how things go. The ferry is an option. That's how you get to this goddamn place. So, and that's where we are. Okay. Anything else? And you can take some time. And also, like, if you're not like suddenly like, I shout them out here. If you think of anything else, even in the middle of a session, be like, nah, I got another one. Or I didn't know that was one. We add it to the list. It's done. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Cool. All right. So that's lines. Veils. We already talked about sex. That's fade to black. Romance and flirting is okay, just not between PCs. Do I have that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marvelous. Anything else that you would like fade to black?
I don't think so. Not for me.
Gratuitous torture.
Gratuitous torture.
Yeah.
Okay. Please define gratuitous.
Well, it's very similar to like hand breaking and stuff, but like over descriptive
Okay. Cool.
of torture.
The difference between going over every action and saying, okay, so you captured Vinny the Squid. How do you want to get him to talk?
I take
We
out a
want-
blowtorch or something and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
just
yeah.
like
Yeah.
fade to black. And
Yeah,
then,
fade to black. I take my blowtorch and we make a roll and fade to black, and I tell you the consequences of that.
I don't need to know about how his skin is melting. and
Yeah, no,
the
totally.
green burn.
Okay, good, awesome. Body horror. How do we feel about that? A creature is made of 1,000 tongues and it crawls out of the sewer.
Yeah, that's fine generally. Yeah.
Okay,
Probably be all right.
probably we're all right. That is an acceptable answer. That is a totally fine answer. Yep.
I'm for it.
Based on conversations you and I had, I expected that answer. All right. So, and didn't you run a game called Heat Death?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which you should see on loadingreadyrun.com or YouTube/loadingreadyrun or help me, it's your channel.
Places where podcasts are served.
There you go. Podcasts are served.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. That's good shit. Oh, that's really good shit. Okay. So, do we have any questions so far?
No, I do not.
No questions. No? All right. Excellent. So, we're all going to be, like I said, we're going to be making these characters and coterie together. But let me explain a little bit of the setting. Okay? So, it's the World of Darkness. Specifically, Vampire the Masquerade, 5th edition. The World of Darkness is our world, but worse. Which, in the current climate, may be difficult to imagine. Right. But this is a world of the shadows are a little bit longer. The nights are a bit deeper. On some level, everybody knows something is out there. It could be something concrete. It could be something ephemeral, but something is out there in the night. And this seeps into every strata, every bit of anything that calls itself even remotely human, this seeps into. Vampire the Masquerade used to be called a gothic punk setting. That's an aesthetic that still holds true to Vampire. Every system in the world of darkness going back, and I don't know how the 5th editions are going to go. Currently, the only 5th edition that's out is Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition. Werewolf the Apocalypse 5th edition will be coming out, but they all generally deal with a conceit. One of the conceits of Vampire the Masquerade is beast I am, lest beast I become. Feed the beast just a little bit to make sure that it doesn't take you over and you don't become what it is. Everybody with me so far?
Yep.
All right. So vampires stalk cities. Sometimes they form governments, almost, in order to help rule themselves. It's called Vampire the Masquerade because vampires are an infection, almost, in the world. They don't see themselves that way, of course, but they sometimes see themselves as shepherds of humanity. They keep hidden. They maintain the masquerade so that the humans, which vastly outnumber them, do not get wise, find them, and destroy them. Because vampires are out at least half the day. You are more powerful than them. You prey upon them, but they vastly outnumber you. And with advances in technology, if they know about you, they can probably find you. This has happened once before in the Inquisition.
The first or the second?
First.
Okay.
We'll get into the second. The first Inquisition, the Crusades. A couple of vampires thought that they could manipulate the church in order to kill some of their rivals. So they told some crusaders, hey, people have been missing from that village over there. You should probably go check it out. And the crusaders went, okay. And they checked it out. And they found some goddamn vampires. And they killed them goddamn vampires. And then they told the rest of the church about those goddamn vampires. And this manipulation got out of control. And that was the First Inquisition. And that sort of kicked off the traditions. And we'll go into those. The Masquerade being one of the highest, always hide. It's the one that every vampire, no matter what faction you belong to, no matter what clan your blood is part of, you gotta hide. And you've got to do everything that you can to maintain the masquerade.
So is like, I guess rule number 1, like if you're a vampire, no telling non-vampires where vampires are?
Don't talk about Bite Club.
Don't talk about Bite Club? Okay. It's essentially what, like, that's all it is? It's just
God, I hate myself for that one. I am most likely not the first person to think of it, but I did in this moment. And I am a terrible person.
I served up a softball-sized serving there. Mark.
Yeah, right. So, let's talk about the game itself, unless anybody has any questions about the setting so far. I mean, we're going to go into like the minutia of what it is to be a vampire as we go through character creation. So the game, in this game, for this structure, I want you to think of me as your friend in this game. This isn't an antagonistic relationship, okay? This isn't a, I'm gonna fuck all of you, yeah. That's not what I'm about.
We're together.
We're all together telling a story.
Okay.
That being said, it is my job as your storyteller to make sure that you trust me enough to make sure that I make things interesting for you. I want you to succeed. In my heart of hearts, I want your characters to have everything that they want, no matter how horrible they may be. And that's Jacob. He's your friend. You can ask him questions. He'll even give you advice. Like, hey, Jacob, I'm lost. I'm totally fucked up, like lost here. Ask your other players first, but like, we don't know how to navigate this, or like, we're not picking up that clue I think that you dropped. Like, what? I'll help you. I'll be like, hey, in this situation, I might X and Y. I might this, or have you considered blah, 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 blah. Jacob's your friend. Jackson, on the other hand, is not. He's not your enemy, but he's the one running the game. You see, Jackson is the one that made Vancouver Island in the World of Darkness, this version of Vancouver Island in the World of Darkness. And whether or not you were playing this game, there is a timeline for that. It's a city and a place and a domain that's going to run like clockwork, whether or not you're there. Events will happen at a certain time. They will happen in a certain logical order. But you see what Jacob is doing is he's throwing 4 player characters into that system to do whatever the hell they want. This is not a sandbox game. This is a game that's going to be designed around everything that we do today, again. You will have threads that you can chase. Anybody play XCOM?
Yes.
Little.
XCOM, a little bit of XCOM, a little bit of just a
Which
touch
XCOM?
XCOM. Just a touch
How many
XCOM. You ever
XCOMs?
play XCOM?
A couple times, yeah.
A couple times? So you know that a lot of times there's so much happening at once, you can't possibly do everything.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Some things you're just going to have to let go. This game is going to be as close to that as possible, as close to real life as possible. The actions that you take, I will guarantee, will affect how Vancouver Island works in the world of darkness. It will affect your other player characters. It will affect things. There are consequences here. But it's up to you to navigate them. Jacob doesn't care about you. Jacob does. Deeply. Truly. Jacob just wants to sit back and watch his clockwork go. And it's up to you to fuck that up or manipulate that clockwork to go where you want it to. Is that clear that it's not antagonistic?
Yeah.
It's just a thing. It's just me sitting back and going, this is cool and fun. But Jacob wants to help you. Okay?
Yeah.
Everybody cool?
Yep.
Clear with that?
Yep.
Yeah? Yeah? Cool. Excellent. All right. So, what we're doing is I'm going to run this as close to canon as possible because I know a lot of vampire canon and a lot of vampire lore, and I really, really enjoy it. You don't have to know shit. Nobody has to know shit to play Vampire the Masquerade. I know 25 years of vampire lore. Cameron knows a whole bunch of crap. You've read some stuff, yes?
The first couple pages.
Yeah, first couple of pages. There's a lot of lore in that. It doesn't goddamn matter. You get into the game because you want to get into the game and you like the theme. Doesn't matter if you've been playing the game since you were 16, high. It doesn't matter if you've been playing the game for 16 minutes. Gatekeeping is horseshit. You can play the game you want to play. That's it. That's how I feel about this. It is my job to guide you along and to show you this thing that I love so much and hopefully get you interested in it. And if I don't, and it's not your jam, that's fine. Take your toast somewhere else, find the jam that you like, spread that shit on, and jam it in your mouth hole. Unless you don't like toast and this metaphor got away with it. All right? Yep. Cool. All right. So what that means for me, that I want to say to you, is that in order to make the flow of the game happen, I'm going to be running these rules and trying to be as clear and as simple with the rules as possible. However, there are going to be some times where I am going to fudge things. You won't know. You at home might. Rules lawyers, consider yourself officially disbarred. I don't care. And it's even in the book. Rule number 1, the golden rule of Vampire the Masquerade is tell the best story you can, and rules be damned. Got me? So, let's make some monsters. But before they were monsters, they were people. So the biggest question before we look at any rule, before we crack a book or look at any of the pieces of paper that I put in front of you, you've all got pencils, yes?
I have a pen. I don't have a
Pen?
pencil.
No, I got you. I got you,
I need a
boo-boo.
pencil as well.
Pencil?
Yeah. Thank you, Jacob.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
Thank you, Jacob.
You're welcome, Adam. All right. Whew, bet the sound engineer loved that. Hold on just a second. We're just gonna take some of the natural glow and disinfect. It's nice. Adam, would you like black, red, gold, green, or blue?
Blue, please.
Blue! All right, catch this sharp object.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Gold.
Gold! Gold, gold, gold!
Thank you.
You're very welcome. I have a whole bunch, so if anybody in the audience... Oh, I'm so lonely. Everybody have pencils, yeah?
Yeah.
And erasers, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, marvelous. So let's decide what kind of people you want to be, and then we'll decide what kind of story you want to tell. All right? So before we make a vampire, there's a couple of ways to do it. You can do it outside in or inside out. For the purposes of this, I would like to start with a person and then make the vampire. You can make the vampire and then decide what kind of person they wanted to be. It's going to be a smoother process this way, I think, before we start talking about clans and disciplines and a whole bunch of capital letter words that are going to make everybody's eyes cross and probably overwhelm you. That being said, you all do have packets with cheat sheets. Please don't look past the 5th page. Your eyes will cross. It will be too much. Just focus on the character sheet for now. But don't, Adam. I see you wearing that blue Nana shirt.
I'll stop.
I don't believe you. Don't lie to me. Don't lie. So, what kind of people do you want to play?
I want my character to be a substitute industrial arts teacher.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Like
he's a former substitute industrial arts teacher, but
so define industrial arts, please.
like in a wood shop, when you go to school with like wood shop.
Okay, cool, awesome.
Yeah.
Please forgive me. There are different terms.
Yeah.
I occasionally encounter them. I was born in the States.
I don't know what they call it in the States. They call it industrial
teacher.
arts. It was just a shop teacher.
Does
Shop
that
teacher,
include
yeah.
metal shop as well, or is it just the wood?
It was metal shop too.
Metal shop,
At
wood
mine,
shop,
it was
yeah.
industrial arts was like
Did it have design on the
woodworking.
computer too?
Pardon?
Design on the computer as well?
And you did like you drew the little wood figures they'd give you. Yeah.
Oh, not yeah.
But
like in
substitute,
CCAD. Yeah, but like
specifically.
he was specifically a substitute, so he's not that okay. So that's his current job is like.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. I was like, is there like vampires that like try to live a normal life?
Yes,
and
they're called
like
cleavers.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Because I
They
like
have
the idea
lives
of like a sub industrial arts teacher
Mm-hmm.
that's like, hey, I'm a vampire now, but I'm still trying to hold it together.
Yes.
And like, yeah,
100%. You can absolutely do that.
Yeah.
However, we are going to have to talk about what kind of classes you teach now because you can only teach them at night.
Yes.
Yeah, that is a fine idea. I absolutely say
I'm sure
yes.
there's night classes where they do industrial arts.
You know
Probably.
what? There are now. I will look into that and we will make that happen.
Okay.
Does anybody now? When I say we're making characters together, we are making characters together. It's not just like I'm making this person and this is who I'm playing. If you have a way and you want to connect your characters, either before or after the embrace, which is what it means when you get turned into a vampire, and again with a capital E, you are welcome to do that. Okay, unless somebody goes like, I just kind of want this to be me, those are boundaries that we will discuss, but we're all doing this together, okay? All right, so substitute industrial arts teacher.
Yeah.
Hell yes. Is he like well off? Does he actually like,
No, he's
before
struggling.
he was turned?
He's struggling. So that's why I like the idea of like he's been given this like new power, but he's still like not confident enough in himself. It's like, well, I have all these cool powers. Like, no, just kind of stick doing what you're doing. Yeah, stick to the
just
grind
like,
and like if someone finds you, you're dead. Like, you know what I mean? Like someone finds out, you're
Yeah.
just struggling with like
Okay.
that.
All right. So he's struggling with like the masquerade. He's trying to keep his like mortal life together
Yeah.
while still getting involved in like this.
It's not even like he just doesn't know how to get involved with it too. I like the idea of like he's
Oh, you want to be fresh faced to the night.
yeah, he doesn't like I don't know how it works, how someone becomes a vampire, but like
Yeah.
they have like a parent or something, like
Sire.
a sire.
Yep.
Okay, so then, but what if he like didn't know who his sire was? Like, you know what I mean? Like
Done.
no contact with them, and just
Yep.
like he's lost, and now he's a vampire, and he's like,
Excellent.
okay, yeah.
Yep. I got you. That is fantastic. Did you want to elaborate more? I don't want to kill your flow.
that's pretty much what I was
Hell
thinking.
yeah. Just fresh faced to the night, doesn't know shit about shit.
Yeah.
Somehow gets caught up in all this.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right. What kind of person does anybody else want to be?
I was thinking like a 40-something lady who has a daughter who's off in school, and she wants to, I don't know if that's even done, like, is turning your actual family members,
Yes.
embracing them. So
It's
make
not a
deal
great idea.
to
But you can do it.
turn her, because I don't want her to grow old and die in front of me.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yep. That is a thing that you can do.
Yes.
Yes. You will have to approach the whoever the ruling person is
Yeah.
for the right of progeny.
Yeah.
Because you can't, at least in with the government, the strong government called the Ivory Tower or the Camarilla, and we'll go into some of the politics in the setting. But you have to ask the prince to make a vampire baby, essentially.
Yeah.
So you have to like do something amazing.
So is it kind of like getting a Costco membership?
It's a horrible Costco.
But I just
membership.
mean like as far as like letting people in, do you like come and like you submit like you're like, hey, I want to turn this person into a vampire, and they're like, I don't know, they look like a snitch. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're just
Kind of,
like,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, like they kind of like you have to have a really good reason or be able to play the politics. The Camarilla, just think about like blood drinking mean girls. Like that's the best way I can just kind of shellac an easy thing on it.
Okay.
Yeah, blood drinking mean girls. Yeah. So if you're in and you're like, hey, awesome, they'll be like, yeah, you want a baby? Have a baby. Awesome. Just be okay with that baby, or else we're gonna kill that baby. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It's like a Costco membership, but nothing comes in bulk, and it's
Yeah.
just one dude in a cloak that smells vaguely of mildew, going like, hey. That's good, excellent. Vampire Costco. Yeah. What kind of person? So you want to be a mom that eventually wants to embrace your college-age daughter.
Yes.
Okay. That starting off fucking terrifying. Okay. Just keep in mind in the back of your head the tools you are giving Jackson.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
great, awesome, good.
I want to be a freelance writer who's just starting out.
Okay.
So I'm writing those 200-word articles for like pennies.
Okay. What type of articles?
Whatever I can get my hands on.
Okay.
Yeah, some real clickbaity stuff, just for easy
like
view. Like,
listicles and
yeah.
Okay.
10 best places to eat in town.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Vancouver Island native? You can be from anywhere, by the way. Doesn't matter. You want to be a native?
No.
Okay.
My guy is from.
I'm going to give you a second
You're
to
gonna give me a
think
second?
about
Yeah,
that.
okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go around the table and then we can go into details
Yeah.
on how you're going to horribly, horribly fuck yourselves. All right, so 200-word articles, like just barely scraping by.
Yeah.
Vancouver Island native. Were you turned here or did you come in?
Turned here.
Turned here, okay. All right, embraced here. Okay. Whereabouts do you live? Where on the island? If you don't have an answer now, that's fine.
I'm just trying to think of where I would live if I was scraping by. Probably out in like Esquimalt.
Esquimalt? Okay. So you're like out in Esquimalt, like out by all the big box stores.
Yeah.
Okay. Like in just a little apartment with like 3 or 4 roommates?
Yeah,
Excellent. Okay.
definitely have roommates.
Excellent. If you could do me a favor, could you think of those roommates' names and write them down for me while we talk to some other folks? If anybody has any recommendations for roommate names or what they're like, you are welcome to shout that out if you're cool with that.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Charles.
Charles?
Yep.
Not Charles.
Nope.
Charles.
Charles.
Does anyone want to be one of my roommates?
That's a really good question.
I don't think my character is a roommate of anybody. I think he lives alone.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm getting a real schlubby vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, cool. All right. I assume you have probably a house.
You
I
ever
think I had
seen?
a house out in like Souk.
In Souk? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. House out in Souk. That sounds, yeah. So you actually owned it back before
Yeah.
prices went bananas.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Excellent. Want to be a roommate? You don't have to.
What do you want to do, Cameron? You haven't said anything.
Okay, I was thinking, apart from roommates,
Uh-huh.
which I'm open to, I enjoy playing like really like aggressively curious characters.
Okay.
And if we're playing a vampire, he would want to explore what he can with that ability.
Okay.
Right? Like, I don't have to breathe? That's interesting. Where can I go with that?
Okay. I'm going to walk into the ocean.
Sounds like a bad idea, but he would want to know why,
Okay.
right?
Maybe a lake instead of the ocean.
Yeah.
Start small.
Yeah. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Like, are we all? I think we're all aiming towards that we're all like relatively new vampires.
I feel like
As
I've
a
had some
baseline?
experience, maybe some contact with like
Okay.
the local domain.
Yep.
Because like setting up the deal that
Yep.
you
I
know
wanted to
drives
be a
me
thin
wanting
blood
to
at least.
complete missions.
I don't
Yep.
know what that is.
It's someone who's been turned within the last 15 years.
I'm so sorry. I was focusing on Cori and I couldn't hear what you had said.
I said I wanted to be a thin blood.
A thin blood?
Yeah, which is someone who's
So the
new,
the
right?
the systems to play a thin blood are complicated.
okay. Is that not
If you are
recommended?
willing to do that work, I'm absolutely ready to say yes. But they are a complicated thing.
Okay. I'd rather be a little simpler.
Okay. Low generation, you can be like just brand new to the night, but still a full-blooded vampire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Also, thin bloods carry with it a certain amount of prejudice and complicated systems.
I assumed that if you were new, you were just a thin blood at this point.
You might be called a thin blood. Like that's a derisive term
Okay.
in kindred society, but being an actual thin blood is like, I can go out during the day, and if I am shot, it's very bad. I still drink blood, but not as often as a full-blooded vampire, and some of them are kind of wannabes and like, yeah.
Okay.
But sometimes vampires in some cities have what's called a scourge, and they kill all of the thin blood. So some of them hide. And so there's complications involved with that.
Okay.
Vancouver Island only recently opened up to the supernatural, to vampires, 2 years ago in this world of darkness. Up until this point, every time an expedition was sent from Vancouver or Seattle to Vancouver Island, they never returned and were never heard from. And then 2 years ago, suddenly everything was fine. So all of the different factions are now just setting up and trying to stake territory on Vancouver Island. And it is in this tumultuous time you will find yourselves.
I'm assuming that vampires, when they don't go to a new area unless, like, I guess whatever council votes on it. Like, they have to all agree. They're like, hey, we're thinking about setting up in Chicago or something. And they're like, do we have any vampires in Chicago? I'm like, no, not right now. It's like, they're very controlled about, they know exactly where every vampire is, you know, for the most part. Is that kind of like how
The
they operate?
Camarilla used to.
Okay.
Like, they used to have that tight control. And then the Second Inquisition happened. And the Second Inquisition happened because the same thing happens. A lot of people think over in London, where a very powerful vampire was trying to get rid of some rivals by tipping off some intelligence agencies on where some of their rivals were. And exactly the same thing happened. So there are some humans that know about you. The Camarilla recently said, no more cell phones, no more technology. And they're a 500-year-old organization and regressed to like handwritten letters and couriers and people that are bound to them by blood in order to get information around. The Anarchs, however, the Anarchs are different. The Anarchs have barons, and they're a bit more loosey-goosey. They call themselves the Movement. And right now, as it stands in the world of darkness, it's the Anarchs versus the Camarilla, because the Anarchs used to have a truce with the Camarilla. They could exist in Camarilla cities. And once the Second Inquisition happened, the Camarilla kicked all of the Anarchs out, said, you're not welcome here anymore. Our sheriffs, all of our authority figures are going to fuck you up, kick you out. So they staked their claim to some of the territories they already had, especially California. Most of California is known as the Anarch Free States. Vancouver has always been an independent city. It remains an independent city to this day, run by a very old vampire named Siegfried, who recently vanished. So his seneschal, Mask, is currently in power and doing their absolute best to flush people over to Vancouver Island to stake claim for Vancouver as an independent entity, but the Anarchs and Camarilla are both here. Make sense? Any questions? Yes? Good. Excellent.
Then I would love to play a vampire who was transplanted to Vancouver Island in that initial wave.
Excellent. By which
Right.
faction?
Camarilla, I think.
Camarilla.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay.
The idea of like a mysterious place that was hostile, or at least like beyond the veil, would appeal deeply,
Okay.
I feel.
Well, fantastic. Well, then I think that's enough to start making some vampires. So, on your character sheets, at the very top of that character sheet, you will see your stats, essentially. Let me just open this up here for myself. So, how these stats work in Vampire the Masquerade is it works on you tell me what you want to do, and then I tell you how to build your dice pool. All right? A dice pool is typically between 1 and 10. 10 is absolutely incredible. 1 is not so great. So at the top, you'll see attributes and skills. You build dice pools out of your attributes and skills. So for example, you're like, I want to drive car real fast. I'd be like, okay, great. Give me a dice pool of your dex plus drive. Or rather, I'm sorry, on this, it would be, drive. Dex plus drive. So like, let's say your character was a NASCAR driver, you would probably put a lot of points in drive and be like, cool, excellent. I drive. I drive good. I got to drive a 3. I have a dexterity of 2. Your dice pool would then be 5. So that's 5 d10s. Successes in Vampire the Masquerade are anything 6 or above. With me so far? So if I say, hey, you want to drive real fast, straight road, totally fine, pretty easy, not like a difficult thing, I'm going to give it a difficulty of 1. So if you can roll 6 or above on at least one of those dice, of those 5 dice, you do the thing. Anything above that, you do the thing better. With me? Now, you're vampires though. So you also have something called hunger, which, bless you, which is always affecting you. Hunger will always be at least at 1 unless you kill somebody and drain them completely of all of their delicious, delicious blood. So one of those dice at any time, depending on how hungry you are, one of those dice will be a hunger dice. You with me so far? All right. So let's imagine we have 4 black dice, 1 red dice to represent your hunger die. And I say, all right, you want to drive real fast? Easy. Dice pool of 5. Get at least 1 success. At least 1. Good. You roll your dice. You get 1 success. You get that 1 success on your hunger die. You're fine. You still did it. It's great. You did it. You get a success. Unless, on that hunger die, you roll a 1. And no successes on any of your other dice. That's called a bestial failure. That means you do the thing, but your beast does the thing. And it's bad. It's always bad. I will either ask you to describe how bad it is for your character when your beast takes over, and your beast, think of your beast as, and this is a gross oversimplification, as your fight or flight response times 1,000, okay? It's the thing that can cause you to go into frenzy, like if somebody waves fire in your face. It's the thing that can cause you to go into, that's a fear frenzy, or the Rorschach, thank you. That's, I think, the first time outside of Watchmen I've ever heard that pronounced. It can cause you to go into Rorschach, which means get away from thing very, very fast. If somebody between you and door, that person between you and door is super, super screwed, because you're going to do anything to get out of there, and that person's in your way, and you need to get away from the fire very, very fast. It can cause you to go into hunger frenzy. And you are so hungry, you have to feed, and it doesn't matter who is around, it doesn't matter what happens, you're going to go after the closest source of blood. You have no control over it. It's the beast doing it. So, don't...
Well, we won't go after other PCs, will we?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's possible.
All right.
Yeah. Like, yeah. But it's up to you to manage your hunger. A lot of your powers, you will roll a hunger dice, which is just 1 dice. And it's pretty much, I use my power, I roll 1 dice. If I get 6 or above, I don't get hungrier. If I roll 5 or below, I get hungrier. And then that will add 1 more hunger dice to your dice pool. And then another hunger dice to your dice pool. And then another hunger dice to your dice pool. And when you get up to about 4 hunger, that's when you got to really start worrying about frenzy. You are super hungry. It is very difficult to concentrate. All you can think of is your next meal. It is difficult to do anything. So there might be some dice pools that are all hunger dice, and that's very bad. Now, let's say you roll your dice pool of 5 with 1 hunger dice, and that hunger dice comes up a 10. Nothing bad happens. You're fine. But if you get 2 10s, that's a critical success. 2 10s is double successes. Every 10 you get above that is another 2 successes. So on that dice pool of 5, you could get up to 10 successes, and that's amazing. If a critical comes up on your hunger dice, well, you do the thing. And you do it spectacularly. You do the thing you wanted to do, except the beast does it for you. If you're trying to pick a lock, for example, and you get a critical success, and if you roll it on your hunger dice, it's called a messy critical. You open that door because that's what you wanted to do, because you're a thief. You're picking that lock. But your beast gets impatient, and then it opens that goddamn door for you and rips it off the hinges and throws it off the roof. You did it. You did it really well. But your beast did it for you. Any questions about that? That was a lot of kind of like, that's the basic role and basic mechanic for Vampire the Masquerade.
Nope. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, sounds good. And at any time, I will remind you, it's on your cheat sheets that you have in your folder. You have a rule sheet in your folder. It might actually be a good time to pull that out. It's called the V5 Rules Cheat Sheet. Appropriately named. It's like a rule summary that I have there. It shouldn't be very deep down. It should be one of the first 5 pages. So you should have your character sheet, and then hopefully, if I did it right, you should have the character creation V5 shortcut, and then a rules summary. Yep, that's it. Cameron's got it.
Okay.
Yep, those should be the first couple of pages in there. Anything past that, don't look at, because it'll be overwhelming, and we'll get to it. One thing at a time, okay? All right, cool. So let's build out your characters, shall we? First, we decide what generation you are. Now, generation means how many steps removed from the first vampire you are. The farther away from the first vampire you are, the weaker your blood is and the less you can do with your blood. Everybody with me so far? There are a lot of different theories on who the hell the first vampire is. We may or may not get into that. The most popular theory is that it's Cain, of Cain and Abel fame. Cain killed his brother. First murderer, first vampire. Mazel. You may or may not believe that. Who knows? And who cares? You're so far away from Cain, it's not like that's an inherent part of a setting and an incredible amount of fear for every vampire. But I'm sure it won't ever come up in this game. At all. He said lying. So, we have kind of agreed that everybody's sort of new to the night, right?
Yeah.
Yeah? New to
Within
the
the
night?
last couple of years.
Yeah, last couple of
probably.
years, like within the last 10 years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So the general levels of vampires they're old-timey terms that the camera really uses, because vampires, when they're turned, they tend to kind of stick and be static where they are. So somebody that was turned in the 80s is most likely to wear kind of 80s fashion almost all the time. It's difficult for a vampire to change, because essentially whatever it is that turned you into a vampire, like, sticks you in that. Younger vampires can change easier and kind of flow. Older vampires, not so much, which is part of the reason why they hide and go through like about 1,000 different intermediaries, because they're like, oh, it's a devil square. No, it's a cell phone. Devil square. That's the thing that the Secularization uses to get you. How? I don't know, but that's what they do. Get off my lawn, you damn kids.
Do vampires in this setting, like, do you know how sometimes in movies and stuff there's like really old vampires, but they're all wrinkly?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, are these vampires like always kind of like, when you're a vampire in Vampire the Masquerade, are you kind of just like the age that you returned forever?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. There are exceptions, but yes, that's essentially it. Unless you are a particular type of vampire called Nosferatu. And every clan of vampire has a bane. Their bane is hideousness. They can never hide being a monster. So it's difficult for them to go out into public. Like they actually turn sometimes they get like jacked up teeth and things like that. That physically changes them.
And each clan only has one of those?
Each clan has a bane, yes. Okay. Something fucked up about their bloodline.
Okay.
Yep, yeah. Each clan has that. But the one I'm gonna
recommend, it's like a deformity?
It's not necessarily a deformity. Nosferatu specifically, yes. Okay. But for example, Toreador, the clan of the Rose. Their clan bane is they always have to be around beautiful things. If they're not, they take penalties to their dice pools.
Okay.
Sometimes, when they're really hungry and they fuck up and their beast takes over and they make a bad roll and their compulsion kicks in, they have to stare at something beautiful until somebody snaps them out of it. Up to and including a sunrise. Every clan has something bad happening to them. Okay. Every clan. Except for the one that I will recommend to you later when we get to that point. And probably you as well. That's going to be fun. Anyway, let's put some dots on some pages. So generation is, we're going to be either neonates or children. Neonate is just a vampire that is like 10 years old. So you have to think about vampiric power in terms of age and generation. Because you can be 5 years a vampire, but if an old ass vampire turned you, you are tough as hell. You don't know what the fuck to do with it, but you're tough as hell. Conversely, even if you're a low generation, if you're very old, you've had a lot of time to learn how to be a good vampire. So you also have a lot of power. So you have to think about it in those two terms. You are all young in the night and low generation. All right? So we're going to be playing a game of Childer, essentially. So see where it says blood potency on your sheets?
No,
And it's fine if you don't.
I don't.
Give me
Said
just a
blood,
sec.
what?
Blood potency.
Oh, it's on the second sheet,
Oh,
left side.
We're going to make everybody's blood potency 1.
So just fill in a dot?
Yep.
Is that the first dot, even the dot? Because there's a dot with like a little thing in it already.
Yeah, that's you automatically. So for example, in your attributes, they have one thing in it already. Like that's just everybody is alive and therefore has one dot
Oh,
in
so
an
we
attribute.
fill the next one?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. In blood potency, if your blood potency already has one dot filled, don't touch it.
Oh.
Your blood potency is 1. Blood potency just means how powerful your blood is. So for example, if you use the power of your blood to boost your stats, which you can do at any time, you can just say, I want to be stronger now. Then I make you roll that a rouse check, so that's rolling that 1d6 to see if you get hungrier or not. And if you don't get hungrier, your strength goes up 1 automatically for the rest of the scene. That's something that every vampire can do no matter what.
Okay.
All right? So you're all going to be fairly low generation. Oh, I lost my page. Cool. Oh, that's fun. I'm sorry. Give me just 1 second. There we go. All right. So let's do your attributes. All right. Attributes, for those of you with the book, that's page 155. If you want to skip ahead. So starting characters, essentially, it's not like a point spend. I'm just going to give you the amount of dots. So you get 1 attribute at level 4. Okay, and we'll go after what the attributes are. All right, and this is on your sheet, by the way. 1 attribute at level 4, 3 attributes at level 3, 5 attributes at level 2, and 1 attribute at level 1. So you're really good at something, you really suck at something, and you're generally above average or not. So to give you an idea of what these attributes mean, the levels of dots. 2 is an average person. 3 is somebody skilled, like a skilled laborer. 4 is a specialist. 5 is Olympic level, like it is the pinnacle of human achievement. Some vampires can go past 5 dots. You can't. Does that make sense so far?
1 at 4, 3 at 3, 5 at 2, 1 at 1?
Correct.
Okay.
That's absolutely correct. So think in terms, before you start filling in dots and whatnot, think in terms of who you are as a person, your character, the person that you described to me. Where would these dots go?
Can you say that one more time? 1 at 4?
Sure. 1 at 4,
Yeah.
3 at 3,
Yeah.
5 at 2, 1 at 1.
Okay.
Okay?
And these are just for like physical, social, and mental?
Physical, social, mental. Yep. So strength, how strong you are. Dexterity, how quick you are physically. Stamina, how much damage you can take, how far you can run. In bursts. You, as a vampire, do not get winded because you don't need to breathe, but your muscles still think sometimes that they're human. Social, charisma, how charming you are, straight up. Manipulation, how best you can get somebody to do something. Composure is essentially your social, your social stamina. If somebody is making fun of you in a crowd of people, sometimes I might ask you to roll a composure check combined with something else. Like if somebody's being just a dick to you in front of a whole bunch of other vampires or somebody you want to impress, sometimes in those situations, your beast will take over, in not just in physical situations, but your beast will be like, oh, I feel threatened emotionally, fuck that person, brr, and then go after them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's your kind of, your social stamina. I don't know how I can
So I guess like
put it better for myself.
I never thought about, I guess vampires are just like the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
basically.
Yep.
Okay.
In very certain conditions, yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Once your beast takes over, it will do whatever it needs to sate its needs or fears.
Sorry, one more time. It was 1 at 4, 3 at 3, or 2 at 3?
3.
That would be 3 at 3.
3 at
so
3,
on your
4 at 2, or 5 at 2?
Yep. On
4 at
your
2.
character creation V5 cheat sheet that you have there, it is 1, 2, 3, 4 line or 3 lines down under
okay.
attributes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Because that adds to 10.
It does. That's not necessarily important, but it does.
Oh, so we get.
But there are
Yeah.
9 stats, 9 attributes.
That adds to 10 stats? I'm sorry, excuse me.
1 at 4.
Yep.
That's one stat.
Yep.
3 at 3 brings it up to 4.
Yep.
5 at level 2 is 9 stats.
Oh, and then 1 at 1. Well, you know what? Eliminate the 1 unless you want it. You can either add, I'll house rule this because I screwed up my own cheat sheet. I will house rule this right now. You can take 1 stat either at a level 2, or if you think it'll be more fun for you, you can take 1 stat at a level 1. Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll take the 1.
Take the 1?
Yeah,
All
I'll
right.
take the 1.
Excellent.
Keep
So,
on the 2.
as far as the for mental stats, intelligence is how smart you are. How it's not necessarily how well you can retain information, but it's your store of knowledge and how much you know about something. It's your intelligence. Wits is how quickly you can recall something. It's kind of like your recall, or how fast you can notice something. This is useful for combat, which in this game does not have to happen. You do not always have to resort to physical violence. If somebody attacks you, you can always run. It depends on what you want to do. But also in Vampire the Masquerade, conversation is combat. Sometimes when you're talking to a certain group of people, you have to be very careful about how you approach things and how you talk. Okay? So where are y'all thinking of putting your stats based on the people that you've described?
I'm thinking probably resolve and composure,
Okay.
because I'm just trying to think about if you're a substitute teacher, you got to be pretty patient because you're dealing with kids that don't respect you
Oh,
on the daily.
constantly.
Yeah.
Yes. I would say that would be more resolve than composure.
Yeah, I was gonna make resolve my highest, like my 4.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds pretty damn good. Because he's socially, like when he loses his composure, he might just be like, "You fucking kids."
Yeah.
If you want to have that kind of schlubby guy you sort of described. Yeah. Yep. That's really cool. All right, cool. What's everybody else's highest stat?
Took it
Composure.
in int.
Intelligence? Yeah. Intelligence, yeah.
Composure.
Composure. All right, cool. Yep. Yeah, 40-year-old mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good. What's that?
Charisma.
Charisma.
Charisma? Ooh, very nice. Okay. All right, very cool.
When you say it's 4, is that on top of the one that's already?
It's not on top of the one. That's total.
Okay.
Yep. That's total. All right. So how about your 1 or 2? What's your lowest?
I used 2, so like
Yep.
charisma, manipulation,
My lowest would be
int wits.
Okay.
my lowest would be charisma.
Yeah, charisma?
Yeah.
Okay. Keep in mind, 2 is average person.
Yeah.
Yep.
Actually, no, charisma would still be a 2 because he's a teacher.
Yep.
Probably manipulation.
Yeah. I mean, you can
Yeah.
put your manipulation at a 1. Because, like, if he can get a crowd, great, fantastic. But he can't get anybody to do anything.
Yeah, I think a manipulation 1.
Yeah. Like, he has a trouble redeeming a coupon at Burger King. Like, all right. Excellent. What was your lowest, Heather, if you don't mind?
I'm not sure yet. I got a little confused when you started saying the numbers over and over again.
I'm so sorry.
I'm just kind of figuring that out in my brain that so when you say 1 at 4, it's 1 attribute at
One
level
attribute at 4 dots. Yep.
but 3 attributes at level 3.
Totally.
Okay.
Yep. And again, if I am talking too quick or you just need me to shut up so you can think for a little bit, please let me know. We are all in this together. We are all learning this crap at the same time. Yeah.
What do we write next to generation again?
13.
13?
13.
Okay.
Yep. Everybody's fresh-faced. Cori,
Hello.
you can be 12th generation.
Ooh.
So fancy.
Yeah. Ooh.
It's a whole
Look at all
number
these
lower.
thin bloods I'm surrounded with. Probably don't even know who their sire is.
I'm picturing your character looks like Patty and or Selma from this chain smoking. Like, yeah.
Some vampires do smoke as a matter of course in order to help maintain the masquerade.
Does it make them sick or anything?
No.
'Cause, like, can vampires eat?
No.
No.
No, they vomit it back up along with blood, unless. So remember that rouse check, that just like that one die. If you do a rouse check, you can do something called Flush of Life. So that means for a scene, you can, without thinking about it, you appear human, and for the scene, you can keep things down through force of will. You can keep
So-
things in your stomach. After that's done, though,
Do we look any different from a normal human?
yes, you look pale. You look dead.
Okay.
No, people aren't going to usually be like,
Vampire? Yeah.
vampire. That's not a thing. But like, if you don't do things to maintain the masquerade, some observant people, especially if they're in the know, will be like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I see you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or if you shake somebody's hand, it's going to be cold.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, it's just dry ham. Excellent. All right, cool. Everybody good on their stats?
I put my 1 in strength.
You put your 1 in strength. Excellent.
Weaker than you can possibly imagine.
Really not great. Yeah. Asks people to help him move, doesn't do anything. Yeah. Yep. 100%.
I
Okay.
bought you
Yeah.
pizza.
I did my 3s in composure, strength, and dex because I figured if I'm
Composure,
working
strength,
with my
and dex.
hands.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Working with your hands, like, yeah. Yep. Cool. Excellent. I like these people that you've described. I've got one question for each of your character. What was their favorite food when they were alive?
Poutine.
Poutine? Just straight up, just a basic poutine?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Give me that goddamn squeaky cheese.
Bread with jam.
Bread with jam? Just
Like a
straight up.
comfort food.
Nice.
Like
nice.
his grandmother's like fresh bread with
Bread with jam?
yeah,
Okay.
with like terrible grocery store like
Okay.
preserves.
All right. Good. Do they still try to bake as a vampire?
No.
Okay.
Wasabi peas.
All right.
It's crunchy with a bit of the spice kick.
Bit of, yeah. Something to just like kind of feel a little
Yeah.
bit, yeah, feel alive. All right, cool. How about you, Heather?
Cup ramen.
Cup ramen? Yeah, just straight up cup noodle. Fantastic. All right, excellent. All right, cool. So let's move on to stats. All right. So let's find where your health is. These are static things, so I'm just going to give you the formula and you'll just fill it in. Your health. So you find your health track should be. There we go. Should be about halfway down there.
Yeah.
Yep. So your health track. Your health is your stamina plus 3.
Okay. Do we fill in these boxes, I guess?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, actually, leave them blank and fill in everything. Like, leave the amount of health that you have blank, and then fill in the ones that are
Not used?
exactly.
Okay,
Thank you.
yeah.
Sorry, my brain just could not get there.
Yeah.
So it's stamina plus 3.
Stamina plus 3. Yep. So that's how much damage you can take before, not you die, but before you fall into torpor. So if somebody shoots you with a machine gun and all of your health is gone, you just fall over and you look like a corpse. You don't bleed, but you're not dead. And there's debate on whether or not you are still aware if you're there. Willpower. Willpower is your social health track, essentially. Willpower can be used. You can take temporary or superficial willpower damage in order to reroll dice. Again, It's not important that we go over every single rule in this session. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about whatever the stat thing is. And then if it comes up during our game, it comes up during our game, and I'll let you know what that is. Okay? All right. Your starting humanity is 7. Because you've all been, actually, I'm sorry, excuse me. Everybody but Cori, your humanity is 8. Cori, your humanity is 7.
Sweet.
Because you've been a vampire the longest. Everybody else has been a vampire like less than a year, maybe?
Definitely less than a year.
Definitely less than a year. Yeah, you're
I
just
want to say like less than like 3 months.
3. Okay, all right. You want to be like,
Like
I'm a
brand new.
baby.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Like I don't even know I'm not supposed to eat food.
Yes.
Yeah, like it just made
He
me
can't
nuts.
figure out why. For like the first month, he couldn't figure out why he felt so sick all the time.
Yeah, and why he like just had to sleep during the day.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, cool. Like barely knows he's a vampire.
Yeah, but he has like I just like the idea like he got turned, but nobody taught him or told him.
Yeah.
That they turned him into a vampire. It's just like they just kind of left him. They're like, I don't know, so
Yeah.
peace out.
Yep.
Like, I go to Vancouver, I know whose hand to kiss first.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yep.
yeah.
Hey, guess who you're gonna get saddled with? You know what's going on. Woot! Make sure he doesn't break the masquerade. All right. Is that cool with the two of you?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm cool
All right,
with
cool. Yep. Then it's your job to make sure he doesn't break the masquerade and to tell him what the hell's going on.
Slap fries
in the
out of his hand.
Yep. Yes. Just what
that
are you
Big
doing?
Mac.
Yeah. With the poutine, it smells so not great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Oh,
Give me just 1 second. Sorry. Yep.
Did I miss how much willpower we have?
Willpower is your composure plus your resistance. Or resolve. Sorry, excuse me. I was like, resistance isn't a thing in this game.
If my character's like new enough,
Yes.
I'm thinking like, what if he was like sick for like a couple of weeks and he's like, man, I should really go to the doctor.
Uh-huh.
And then he finally goes, but then gets either caught before because like I'm assuming that if a vampire goes to the doctor and it's like, hey, I don't feel well, and they check you out and they're like, you don't have a pulse.
Pulse,
Like,
yeah.
that
You're
blows.
dead.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, there are definitely people that are keeping an eye on the hospitals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. There's usually like, there's somebody in the hospital that's like, oh, and then the Camarilla is really good about manipulating different things in order to hide stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Excellent. And everybody's starting hunger is 1. All right. So, do you consider your character a jack of all trades, balanced, or a specialist?
In what context? Just in general?
Just in general, yeah. As far as their skills go, I would say because you were a shop teacher, I would say specialist.
Yeah, I'm definitely a specialist.
Yep.
balance.
Balanced. Okay, balanced.
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 Balanced. Okay, cool. So on under skills and specialties there, we're going to do the quick assignment. So you'll see, everybody see on your character quick sheet there? Mm-hmm. All right.
Actually,
so
I want to go, specialist.
specialist. Okay.
I've decided he's young,
Okay, cool. That you can
Depth of-
absolutely do that.
breadth of skills, characteristic of age.
Yep. So specialist, you get 1 skill, 1 level 4 skill. This is for specialists, by the way. 1 level 4 skill, 3 level 3 skills, 3 level 2s, and 3 level 1s. So again, same basic idea. Like 1 is like I'm trained in this. 2 is I'm good at this. 3 is I'm excellent at this. 4 is like people, I went to MIT, I am well known in the field. 5 is genius level at whatever it is. Like, and please consider, like Neil deGrasse Tyson has like a 5 in science, and he's super famous.
What's what falls under craft then?
Craft is making shit,
Just making shit?
making shit.
I mean, that's probably where my 4 is. Yeah. Because I guess technology is more like computers and stuff, right?
Yeah, technology is mostly computers and things like that. Yep. So as you're filling in things, this isn't necessarily quiet work time. Like, tell me a little bit what you're thinking.
I'm reading the details of all the stats because I'm like, is survival like picking berries in the woods?
Oh.
Or is it just like,
Yes. It's all of that. It can be picking berries in the woods, but it can also be like, I know what dumpsters to find that are airtight in the city when I'm caught out in the day.
Yeah,
Yep.
it says like surviving under adverse
Absolutely.
conditions. Yeah.
Yep. And you are welcome to ask me. I've got all of these like done.
Is etiquette vampire etiquette?
It can be, yes. Yep.
And if that's a 0, it's like you're just dog shit at this
Yeah.
skill or
I mean,
whatever.
you can ask me for a roll, and I'll just be like, roll intelligence plus your etiquette. I don't have etiquette. Well, guess you're just rolling your intelligence.
Yeah, I'm picking
Good
etiquette.
luck.
I'm picking etiquette as my 3.
Yeah, etiquette, that is a good idea.
What's animal kin?
Animal ken is how well you get along with animals. If you don't have any dots in animal ken, animals stay the hell away from you.
Do animals generally, because like in movies, cats always hiss at vampires and stuff like that?
That happens sometimes if you don't have certain vampire powers, because there are vampire powers where they're just like, all the rats, forever.
Yeah.
Yay, rats. Yeah, there are powers where you can just like look at a cat and be like, sup, and the cat will be like, sup, and then leave you the hell alone.
I'm putting 3 in technology.
3 in technology, okay.
Well, I do blogging listicles,
Yep.
so that would make sense.
Yep,
to be-
absolutely. You know your way around some tech.
Can I, if I put a lot of points into finance, but only in the lens of he does his taxes every year?
That would be 1, probably.
would be 1?
Yeah, if he can do his own taxes, that'd be 1. Yeah. But if you wanted to be like a business person,
Yeah, no, I
and you
don't.
wanted to like go to business war with a vampire who is also business,
Yeah.
like in the background and shit, like you could be,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I just wanted him to do.
Yeah, totally.
To do his own taxes.
What's the difference between melee and brawl? Is it just armed versus unarmed?
Yep, arms versus unarmed. Yep. I'm sorry, armed versus unarmed. If you use an arm, that's melee. Yeah. If you use an arm to fight somebody, that's melee. Yeah. All right. Any other questions? Cam, how you doing?
Good.
Excellent.
Good.
What?
It creeps me out when he's just looking down and goes, good, good.
Yes.
Yes. Heather,
Is performance, what does that mean exactly?
performance is exactly that. It's how well you can hold an audience or play an instrument, or it's how well you can perform.
Okay.
Subterfuge is lying. So it's usually, and there are different cases, crowd versus individual. Or if you're pretending to be somebody else, but you're not trying to make somebody do something, there's different pools that you can use. For example, if you're lying, that's straight up manipulation subterfuge. If you have a disguise, though, that might be charisma subterfuge.
What about, is survival just like, being able to dress a wound, I guess, like by
Yeah,
yourself?
that's medicine. But survival is like, can you survive in the woods or an urban environment? Do you know where in the city the actual like sunlight type dumpsters are because you got caught out in the day and you were like, oh crap, I'm a little bit on fire. I got to jump in this dumpster. It's things like that. Like, how do I make a makeshift tent out of trash bags so I don't burn in the day as I'm forced to fall asleep?
Is it not instantaneous? Like when you
Nope.
get hit by
Well,
sunlight?
it depends on your generation. The higher your generation, the more you go up like a,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Yep. Like the sun touching you just makes you go like, bleh, and you're done.
Yeah.
The lower your generation, like the thinner your blood is, the more human you are, the longer it takes for you to burn. But it's very bad and it takes a long time to heal. Okay. Also, I do want to say in this, it's more important that we get the kind of relationships and you get a handle on who this person is as far as getting all the dots and stuff down. One of the options in this game at any time is the you do it. At any time you can be like, I know my character can do this. I don't know, me cannot do this thing, my character can. We can play that scene out and you can also be like, Jacob, I rolled dice. My character is good at this thing. He did this thing. You do it, and I'll describe it. Even if it's character choices. If you just want to be like, Jacob, you do it. I got you. I'll just be like, cool. This is your best friend. His name's Harry. He's a huge, huge Canucks fan. Like, yeah. Used to watch the stickball with him.
stickball.
Yeah,
My
yeah,
favorite
that's what it's called,
sport.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, love me some stickball. Yeah,
Yes.
I've got all my skills. So.
Okay. There you go. Okay. So everybody gets one specialty. So a specialty is one thing you are particularly good at one of your skills that you get to add an extra dice roll. So your craft, for example, if you took craft, that would be woodworking, metalworking, something like that.
Yeah.
You have to take one for your craft that's free because you took craft, because you have to have a specialty in that. You can generally use it other times to like, I want to get this door off the thing, and I know woodworking, but I can kind of figure out how this goes.
Yeah. I'm assuming craft can bleed into a lot of other stuff, kind of like.
It can, yeah.
Or a lot of skills can bleed into other skills. It's
Yes.
like,
yeah, there is crossover,
Yeah.
and sometimes I'll be like, it'll either be X or Y.
Okay.
You pick, and you'd be like, I'm better at that one. I picked that one. Let's do it. Excellent. Cameron, you've been quiet for a while. You okay?
Yeah, no, I'm thinking.
It's
it's
makes
good.
me more nervous than anything you've said tonight.
I'm not sure if I want to like lean towards like a practical skill like driving or using guns as a specialty versus like a social skill like the etiquette or politics, let's say.
I wouldn't try to predict the game. Just
Yeah.
build how your person is. Build who your person is, and we'll deal with whatever situation comes up.
do we mark down what our specialty is somehow?
Yes, please. You just write it next to the thing.
Oh,
so it
next.
says craft, and there's a little line between
Yeah.
that and the dots. Just be like, Brr. But you get one extra specialty in any of your skills. So, for example, if it was drive, you could have a specialty in truck or semi. Like, you're just real good at fucking getting that semi back to the loading dock or whatever. So you have one in craft. That's one of the ones that has to have a specialty. You can pick another specialty in anything you'd like.
Is there any other skill that requires a specialty?
Is there any other skill that requires a specialty?
Yeah.
Academics, craft, performance, science.
Okay.
Yep. So if you have any of those skills, you have one free specialty in it. That's your type of academics, craft, performance, or science.
I've got performance, so gonna pick singing.
Perfect. Excellent. Wonderful.
I have all of those except for craft.
Excellent. Then pick your specialties.
Doing so.
Does anybody have any recommendations for, as his character has been described as a very curious sort of academic type, do you have any recommendations on what a cool or fun specialty might be? You can say no. That's fine.
No, I'm
Something
just
like
thinking. I'm just looking at like
calligraphy or
Cameron, are
letter
you like a
writing.
young person?
Yeah, I figure like he is very young.
Like, do you have anything in technology? Because you would be like,
I
young
do.
people would be like normally very specialized in technology.
Yeah,
right?
just like huge.
They just
thumbs
get it, right?
fantastic.
Like, you know what I mean? They grew up with it. They,
Yeah.
me, I think my character's like 40, so he's like a little older, like 45. You know, like he's just like doesn't really get technology. I guess like it's like my dad.
That means as part of the Camarilla being sent to this island, you could have an illicit cell phone because they don't have a strong presence here.
Right.
And you might really miss your cell phone. So you could have an illicit cell phone. If Camarilla catches you with it, it won't be great. It won't be great. But, you know, it's not like they have a whole bunch of like sheriffs and deputies and stuff here.
Out of curiosity.
Yeah.
The Second Inquisition, is it like hyper-funded Pentagon black helicopters?
No.
Or is it like Fox Mulder being like, why are you still paying me if you don't believe me?
Really depends on where you are.
Okay.
Yeah. It really depends on where you are. The Camarilla certainly thinks it's highly funded black helicopters and black sites and things like that.
Aren't you the same thing too, Heather? Your character's younger, right?
Yeah.
You do not have to figure this out alone. It seems like you're staring at the page, waiting for it to shout answers at you, and you don't need to do that, and that's totally cool. So I believe, according to my notes, which could be fucked up, you were jack of all trades, and you're currently on your skills and specialties, yes?
Oh, were we jack of all? I thought we
You
were
get to
under.
Or I'm
one.
sorry, you
I thought we were
picked-
under balanced.
I'm sorry, excuse me, balanced. That's what I meant
Okay.
to say. Yep, you were balanced. See, you knew better than me.
So you get 3 at 3.
Yeah, I have technology, etiquette, and subterfuge.
And then
For those.
5 at 2.
And then, did I get all my twos? Yes. I went with, like, I don't know what most of these are, and I can't seem to find it in the book, even though
No,
it's
that's
got a
okay. You can
number.
ask. I can just give you the quick and dirty.
So I put 2 in awareness,
Awesome.
persuasion,
Good.
craft,
Fuck yeah.
melee,
Excellent.
and stealth.
Hell yeah. So like kind of living on her own, but she's taking a lot of self-defense classes.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Well, I've got annoying roommates who I don't talk to.
Awesome. Very cool. So what's the melee? What's the specialty? Like, what weapons has she fought with? That's very interesting.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't play like a lot of video games with shooty shoots. and
That's
just
totally cool.
Swordy swords. So
We can say
don't
that she
know.
played a lot of sports. That could absolutely justify having melee.
okay.
Like 2 dots in melee, she knows how to use a variety of things that could be used as weapons.
Field hockey.
I mean, she
stick.
could have been like
Perfect.
a collegiate baseball player. You know what I mean? You know
Yeah.
how to swing a bat. If you
Yep.
can swing a bat, you can swing anything.
That's
Especially if you're professionally trained to swing a bat. Like
Yeah.
when they teach you, an actual athlete, how to swing a bat, yeah, you could. you could.
Or like a fencer.
Yeah.
Yep.
You could have been
swing
a
bat,
fencer.
Yeah, like they say, you can swing a bat, you can swing a severed leg.
Yeah.
Or an
That's
arm.
exactly.
Or
what
an
it is.
arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yep, that's happening. All right.
If I put, I was deciding between my 1 pointer for skills, and I kind of want to put 1 point in occult, but it's just because he likes ghost stories, and that's. Can I make that a specialty
Perfect.
just because he loves?
Yeah, totally. If you want that to be your free specialty,
Yeah.
hell yeah, it can be occult, ghosts.
Ghosts. He
Yep,
just. I don't know.
100%.
Or he believes in Bigfoot.
Yeah. So ghosts or cryptids. Those are 2 separate specialties. Occult will cover, just general like he knows what crystals are and supposedly
Such a
what they do.
tough choice. What does he like more? I'm gonna say cryptids.
Cryptids?
Yeah, he believes Bigfoot is real.
Hell yeah. Okay. So your specialty is cryptids.
Yeah.
All right. Marvelous. You've definitely heard a lot of stories about weird shit up island.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay.
Well, it's just like he didn't know vampires existed. Now he is a vampire, and he's like, "Well, does Bigfoot exist?" It's like
Wendigo?
What's that? Like a
Wendigos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Which is absolutely not a very particular tribe of werewolf.
I say
I
nothing.
picked van driving.
Hell,
It's my non-free
awesome. So specifically vans.
vans.
So you get, anytime you're in a van or a van-like thing, delivery, I don't know any other vans,
Yeah.
you get extra dice. Perfect. Excellent. Who has drive, by the way?
I have 2 points in drive.
Okay. Also, as you're filling things out, you can be like, hey, it'd be cool if we did this. Up to and including Jacob, I want a car chase. Okay?
Jacob, I want a van chase.
Done. Fucking granted. Absolutely. Hell yeah. Does anybody have any dots in firearms?
No.
We're
I
Canadian.
have one.
What's that? Did you just say we're Canadian?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's rednecks.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, there's that divide, right? Of like, we're Canadian, therefore we don't touch guns, versus we're Canadian, and for my 11th birthday, I got a Cooey.
Yeah. That's my brother.
I'm
Yeah.
so
My dad.
sorry.
A Cooey is a rifle.
Yeah.
It's like the Canadian.
Okay,
22?
so it's not like a pet name for all rifles. It's a specific
No, it's a specific
rifle.
brand of
all right,
It's like a
rifle.
22. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
a 22.
Oh, it's a 22. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Like
I
your
went to
first
West End Mall and went to the range there and tried a handgun once.
Cool.
1 dot.
1 dot?
Yeah.
1 dot.
Yeah.
Fantastic. We got 1 dot in firearms, and it's also the person that'll be driving. Okay. Everybody's
I don't know. I don't think I don't think I've ever had a reason to fire a gun. So I was like, I
No,
don't-
no.
yeah.
And that's
He can hold the
totally
wheel while I'm leaving the window.
100%. Don't worry. I got you. I've already
Can I
got it in my
if
head.
I decide that I want to now that I'm a vampire or whatever, and I decide like, hey, I need a way to protect myself.
Yep.
Is there you can gain?
Yes, you can
points
gain
and
skills. There
skills.
are experience points.
Okay,
Yep,
yeah.
you will get experience points.
It's not like we're hard locked into
Nope, absolutely not. And even if you want to retcon stuff a little bit and be like, hey, I want to move these dots, sure, fuck it.
Okay.
Yeah, you're like, oh, this fits, as I'm playing this character, this fits better. Can I move these dots? Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Okay.
I am here to help you. Not Jackson, but I am. I'm your friend. Fuck that guy.
You have like a little hat you wear when you switch
No,
roles.
you'll know.
Okay.
You'll know.
What's insight?
Insight is how well you can read somebody else. How well you can read a person. very good when somebody's trying to lie to you, or use vampo whammies to try to get one past you. All right, everybody pretty good on skills?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Okay,
Yeah,
so I've got
there we go.
specialty in performance,
Thank God he's talking. I feel much more comfortable. Yes.
piano.
Yep, perfect.
Academics, his specialty is in philosophy.
Excellent.
Science, mathematics.
Okay.
So he's very into building basis skills,
Okay.
right? Like learning how to argue, learning how to number,
Yep.
and piano is like, this is music theory.
Learning how to argue with music with numbers.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then we can get fancy later. But right now, we're going to build basic skills.
Okay, fantastic.
And
Cameron, what if you made a poli-sci major? Who plays the acoustic guitar?
Honestly, I think that's what my character majored in, like kind of
Poli-sci,
yeah.
So I'm going to say that your character can play Hey Delilah anytime they want.
Just, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Well, that makes me.
Oh, fine.
All right. Heather, do you need any assistance?
How many you got left?
I have the dots filled in now,
Okay.
Wait.
but I need a specialty for. I've got a dot in academics and 2 in craft.
Okay. I mean, craft can literally be anything. Like what does she mess around with? Does she sell stuff on Etsy for a little extra scratch?
I want her to have, people make clothes where they put lights and
Yeah, totally.
gizmos
Yep.
and stuff on them. Yeah.
Perfect. Excellent. What's your Etsy username?
I'll get back to you on that.
Fantastic. All right. Cool. So that's your craft. What was the other one?
I have a point in academic.
Point in academics. Cam, our resident academic, do you have a suggestion perhaps?
For a writer?
Well, for specifically a down in your luck sort of writer.
What were you doing when you fell back on writing listicles?
That's a good question.
What was your dream? And then you had student loans. Were you in like fine arts? Did you win a scholarship based on writing a 1-act play in high school?
I think I like doing the fine arts thing
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it works in with the crafts.
Excellent.
And then I can draw on way too many memories.
You once won something called the Parnassus Award, which is where the muses live in Greek mythology. It's framed on your wall. It's got a lot of dust on it.
Actually, no. Sorry, this is for me.
Okay.
His academic specialty.
I thought you were like,
is-
actually, no.
Parnassus
That's
bad news.
Yes, that's bad. Forget it.
Is architecture.
What's that?
Architecture.
Architecture? Fantastic. Okay, so now let's get into the fun stuff. So we've got all that. We can kind of fill things in as we go along. Even if you have some that are kind of out there, that's totally fine. So now we're going to get into your disciplines. These are your vampire powers. We need to decide what clan you are, and this is what bloodline you belong to. I'm going to pick yours. Is that okay with you?
That's fine.
Excellent. You're a Kaitif. Kaitif means clanless. You are not respected by anybody, but you have no clan weakness. This also means that you can pick any 2 disciplines you want from any clan.
Okay.
One of them will be level 2, one of them will be level 1.
Okay.
There is a discipline cheat sheet in your folder,
Yeah.
which you can start looking through. Now, hold on, because you're going to start looking at the individual powers. Let's go over what some of the disciplines, well, first let's do some of the clans, okay? So the clans that are going to be available to you are the basic clans that are in the book. You all have a cheat sheet in your folder listed with, it's called compulsions. Everybody got it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So the compulsions kind of describe a little bit, it gives you a little symbol. These are the symbols of all of the clans. At the top is the Hecata. They are not available to you because they're not in the core book. Only the clans that are in the core book are going to be available to you, okay? Second is the upside down A that you see on that sheet. Those are the Bruja. The Bruja are the rabble-rousers. They are they're very physical disciplines. A lot of rebels, people who are counterculture, are usually embraced by this clan. That's kind of what they're about. The Gangrel, which is the wolf head, those are people that can shapeshift and talk to animals. They are usually like survivalists or people that are in the woods and stuff like that. Now, you can be anybody and be any of these clans. I'm giving you gross stereotypes. So if you, the social climbing person, wants to be like, I'm a Gangrel, I'm just a city Gangrel, I turn into a bunch of rats.
They
Great.
can only talk in one-word sentences?
What's that?
The Gangrel can only talk in one-word sentences?
No, they can talk.
Oh, that's
That's their compulsion.
Oh, okay.
This list kind of gives you the symbols of the clans. That's what happens if their like beast takes over and I choose instead of frenzying, your clan curse and compulsion pops in. All right.
Okay.
The Malkavians are the broken mirror right there. They have they have a hard time interacting with other people generally because they see too much. They are prophets and pranksters. A lot of people tend to pick Malkavians as like the Joker archetype, and that's not necessarily what they're about. You can certainly play them that way, but they almost always appear to have some sort of difficulty interacting with the world because they see truth with such clarity, but they can't always articulate it to other people. Okay? The crying mask that you see on your sheet, those are the Nosferatu. Those are the ones that turn into monsters. They are usually, sometimes they're beautiful people that the Nosferatu hate, so they turn them as revenge. Sometimes they're hackers. Sometimes they are people that gather information or are the ones that are unnoticed that will be unmissed. And then there is the roses, which are the Toreador. The Toreador are the social climbers, the ones that I talked about a little bit earlier, the beautiful ones. They are the ones that throw the best parties. They're usually the ones that kind of keep track of everybody almost in Kindred society. We're going to skip...
Kindreds are vampires?
What's that? Kindred are what the Camarilla call each other as vampires. Yep. We're going to skip the crown and the circle and the other kind of square. The cross sword and the scepter, those are the Ventru. They call themselves the Clan of Kings. They're the ones that have the dominate powers, essentially. And then there's the Tremere, which is the circle with the triangle. They're blood wizards. Everybody hates them. Nobody hates a Tremere like a Tremere. But they're very powerful. So those are the various clans.
Wait, they hate themselves?
Kind of, yeah. They're just, nobody likes the blood wizards.
Why?
Yeah. Mostly because they've got powers that other people don't have because they figured out how to use the blood better than everybody.
Oh, it's like a jealousy thing? They're just like...
A lot of times, yeah. And then other Tremere hate other Tremere because you might be better at blood magic than I am, and they're all super arrogant about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just think of the worst parts of academia, but they can also do blood magic.
Ew.
Yeah. Yep. The Ventru, typically arrogant business people, but they're usually people that go after power. Yep. Kaitif, that's you. You can take a look
How do you
tonight
spell that?
or tomorrow morning.
CAI.
TIFF.
Okay.
I can't remember if it was like double T or double F.
And I can write that under my clan?
Yes, you can write that under your clan. Yep. And then tonight you can take a look, if you have time and energy, you can take a look at some of the disciplines. If not, we can just go over it really quickly tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, or when we start playing, I should say. Yep. Okay.
I'll do Tremere.
Tremere?
Yeah.
I'm shocked. Yep.
I've never actually played one.
Really?
Yeah.
Please do it. Yes. Good. Excellent.
That's the blood wizard, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I look forward to probably making you upset because I don't know what you are. I'm like,
Yeah, I don't know. Like, great.
cool.
You could see him do stuff and just be like, oh, all vampires can do that. And then you're like, why can't I do that?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just bleeding
You
now.
stole one of my ideas.
Yep.
I was going to do it in game. I was going to be like, oh.
Jeez, yeah. Why isn't it doing it?
Just looking over at you
Next
like,
to you like, oh, man. Excellent. So what of those appeal
Help
to you?
him.
I was thinking
child,
either
please.
Bruja
Okay.
or Tremere for the clean feedings or for being like a counterculture punk mom.
I personally love the idea of like the punk mom Tremere.
Yeah.
Even if you're just like almost like I stepped out of the 1950s, but still like a real cutting, socially intelligent
Yeah.
Bruja. Hell, I love that. I personally love that.
Oh,
They're
I
pretty good
know.
punk mom?
I don't know how everyone
Yeah,
else
that's
feels.
great.
Generally, when I play tabletop games, I would really like for us all to work very hard to get along with each other.
Yeah.
I know that sometimes I don't think that any of you will do this, but hearing about the clans and stuff like that is just like it can lead to very like standoffish, I guess, like is the word like
Yeah,
that I want to
100%.
avoid, and I just like generally just want to play a game with my friends,
Yes.
you know, and solve a problem together or something, you know.
And that's the idea of a coterie.
Yeah.
Like coterie is essentially a vampire party because everybody above you is going to be trying to control you and poop on you because they live forever. There's no advancement without death, essentially.
It's like, oh, I just have to wait for Bob to
Bob
retire.
to retire. Bob's not going to retire. Bob's 1,000 years old and owns an entire town in Moldova. Like he's not going anywhere.
Also, Bob can kill you by looking at you. You think?
You think? Probably. Who knows? Somebody said Bob one time and died. I don't know. But that's what a coterie is. It's a bunch of vampires getting together and being like,
Hey,
yeah, and that's what you're going to be.
okay.
Yep.
That's what I was unsure of. So I
Yep,
just
absolutely. Even if we're all working towards the same goal and we are all each other has. There are other games where everybody in the coterie hated each other, but they were the only ones that would look out for each other. Yep. It's like a little family of monsters. Yeah. Excellent. Heather, which of those clans appealed to you? You can also be a Kaitif. You don't have to be different. You can be the same. You could all pick the same clan.
I have no idea what I want to pick.
That's fair. Would you like a suggestion?
Yes, I would.
Kaitif. 2 clanless and the 2 Camarilla folks that have to look out for them. I think that's a fine story.
Yeah.
Does everybody agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you agree with that?
Yep.
Excellent. And that means you don't have a clan bane. And you can pick whatever 2 disciplines you want. And that's part of the reason why other vampires are really weird about Kaitif, because they don't know what they can do. Some Kaitif lie and be like, oh, I've got powers that are similar to that clan.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm a Ventru. Ventru, right? What? That's what all Ventrus say. Whoop, whoop, right? Good, excellent. And then other Ventru are like, yeah, whoop, whoop, whoop. That's, yeah, okay.
that's what
That is what we. Yeah.
Exactly. And
We've always done this.
we've always done this. Everybody, until you turn again into a mountain of rats and run off into the night. And then the Ventru go like, probably not.
I can't do that.
I can't do that, man. What the heck? Yeah,
So just so I'm clear, because
Yes.
I'm taking a gander at the disciplines,
sure.
they're like, I guess like they're just groupings of spells.
Yeah, use the cheat sheet instead of the book. The book will be overwhelming. Yep. Yeah. So you don't have to pick your disciplines now. Okay?
Okay.
But we've picked our clans. We've got our stats. We've got a whole bunch of really good stuff down, which is great. Now, there's another cheat sheet in there called Predator Type. This is your preferred method of feeding, and we'll give you a couple of other bonuses. This is your, again, preferred method of feeding. Doesn't have to be how you feed all the time.
How do you feed?
Yep.
What's the Sandman?
Sandman feeds on people that are sleeping. They literally just break into people's houses and just go num 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 while they're sleeping, and then they get the hell out. It's super creepy.
I kind of like that, just that he's.
That's me.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. Done. Sandman. Because you're just going around, you're like suburban town and just being like, and everybody's like, oh man, I've been really tired. Maybe there's something going around. And
Yeah.
you're just like, yeah, that's weird. Why don't we ever see you during, on Mimosa
I'm
Sunday
working.
anymore? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So you actually can take some backgrounds and things that are contacts or people in your neighborhood and whatnot.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. So Blood Leech don't pick that one. I only feed on vampires. That's bad. Don't do that.
I was
Bagger,
thinking about farmer.
farmer only feeds on animals.
Yeah.
So animals do not sustain you and is not as delicious as people blood. But you can still do it. You literally could get home and just have this creepy ass back room
I'm just
filled with like animals that you got from different pet stores.
I'm trying to think about somebody who didn't know they were a vampire and couldn't figure out why they were so sick all the time. And then someone tells them, "Hey, idiot, you're a vampire. You have to feed." And now it's like, how does someone react to that? And I'm just trying to think about what they would
Please
do.
get rid of the closet full of pigeons you have.
Yeah.
Dead doves do not eat.
He's
I was
trying,
saving
like, I
it
can
for
just figure
later.
he would try a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he'd have like a cow.
I think Heather had a suggestion.
Maybe you were like really trying hard to eat a bunch of raw steaks, because then that didn't mean you had to really do it.
Yeah, it's like he tried a bunch of stuff, but I just think that what he would do, because he would be not confident enough to like,
The class pet keeps going missing.
it's like I really like Sandman, but none of my skills
Yeah.
complement that.
I
right?
think farmer is really good, especially because like if you're doing night classes and substitute teacher, like you might be going at like Heather just said, the class pet at various schools keeps going missing.
Yeah, that's actually really funny. Yeah. Thank you, Heather. Yeah, that's hilarious. I like that a lot.
All right, Cam, what are you thinking?
Either consensualist or bagger.
Okay. What do you think's more fun? Consensualist? You have to get their permission. You don't have, well, it's your preferred method of feeding is getting their permission to feed on you. This can include lying to them, but they have to say okay. You can say, "Oh, I have a rare blood disease, and I know it's weird, but please let me do this." Because when you bite somebody as a vampire, they go into ecstasy. It's called the kiss. Again, capital K. And they kind of don't remember what happened. There's easier ways to do it. Some people do absolutely remember what happened if you don't put some sort of whammy on them. I highly recommend somebody take at least 1 dot in Dominate, which is the memory wipe. So you can just go up to somebody and be like, "You forget the past 5 minutes," but you don't have to. I recommend it, but you don't have to. So people go into ecstasy and it lets you feed on mortals.
So, Cameron, when you're a student, how much do you cook?
More,
More.
actually.
So not just like grabbing a Go-Gurt.
No, yeah.
So yeah, spend some time making some contacts with people who want their blood sucked.
Yeah.
Put
And
a bit
this
of
is
effort into
preferred,
it.
right?
Cultivate
Yeah, this
it.
is your preferred. Yep.
Are the Tremere the ones that also like have favorite flavors of blood?
No, that's the Ventru.
Ventru, okay.
Ventru, that's one of the things they have, like preferred flavors of blood. Yep. Blood has different flavors, by the way, depending on the mood of your subject.
Okay.
Or full of drugs, depending on
Or
the
they're
drugs
full of
your
drugs. Yeah,
subject.
that's one of the only ways a vampire can get high or drunk is get a human high or drunk and then feed on them, and then you get high and drunk.
Oh.
Yep.
So when a vampire feeds on an animal, it's not as good.
Not at all.
Can I start off with a preferred method and then change like?
Yeah,
or is
you can
it like-
shift. Yeah, but it's a preferred method. Yeah, and that might be a good character beat.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because like maybe you
Well, I
haven't
just figure
had
at first he's
human
not
blood.
going to want to bite another human being.
Yeah,
right?
totally, 100%. But then again, at some point he might not be able to help himself.
Yeah.
Cool, excellent, yes. Excellent. Okay, so as a farmer, you can get a bonus dot in Animal Ken or Survival.
I'll take animal.
Animal Ken, excellent. And then as a, I'm sorry, remind me, Cori?
Sandman.
Sandman. As a Sandman, you can get a bonus dot in either Medicine or Stealth.
Medicine.
Medicine. Do you have any dots in Stealth?
No.
You may want to shift that over.
Okay.
You may want to move some dots around.
Put the dot in stealth.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! 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 Shh, 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 shh. No, it's fine.
That's what the dominate's for. That's what the dominate's for.
This is just a really weird dream. Yeah.
Well, that's going to be me because I got
Yeah.
nothing in stuff. Some kid's going to walk in and I'm biting into the gerbil or something.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll move.
Oh, you're gonna be like,
Don't look at me.
There.
just run it, like still eating it though, but jump out the window. Just
But no points in larceny. That's still fine, right?
yeah. No points in
Okay.
larceny is
Yeah.
fine. You might have trouble like jimmying a lock.
Yep.
Yeah, but like, yeah, you'll have to look for. You know which neighbors have an open door
Yeah.
for your preferred feeding method. A dot in larceny at some point might be a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah, especially if you go somewhere that's not your neighborhood.
I mean,
You're very well
I'm
set
not very
up.
smart, so I could probably pull one of my finance dots off and just do normal.
You do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
have to
Move
clear
a
it with
dot.
me. I'm
Doing
just going
it.
to trust that your character sheets are your character sheets. I like how I told Adam, like, just use the cheat sheet. And he's like, no problem. Book. There he
So-
goes. Anyway, Heather.
I'm gonna go with Sandman.
Sandman as well?
Yeah, I figure I have terrible roommates and they keep inviting people over.
Yep. You have gotten accidentally drunk or high more than once.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Most assuredly. Okay. And then as Sandman, you can get that bonus dot in either of the two things I just told Cori.
Stealth or medicine.
Thank
I'm gonna
you.
put it in stealth.
I really appreciate that. Okay.
And then, sorry, as consensualist, I get medicine or persuasion.
That is correct.
Okay.
I'd recommend persuasion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Consensualist is also like, give me the blood out of your veins. Like, you might work at a blood drive at night or carry around a sign that's like, donate blood to this charity that I made up. I get them.
Yeah.
Bagger is somebody who like breaks into medical places and tries to get non-fractionated blood. Yeah. Okay, excellent. All right, so now we have come to the last part, advantages. 7 dots in advantages, plus your starting bonus, and 2 dots of flaws. This is kind of how you can customize your character. This is something that might take a little bit of time because as much as I have tried to put together cheat sheets, I can tell that my players are very interested in this system and are all looking at the books and the descriptions and want to pick out what's best for them. So I'm going to leave that up to you to not do here.
Okay.
I will leave that up to you to do between now and session 1. I am available if you need any help. You had asked, this would be the part, because you had asked if vampires can eat food. And if you want your character to eat food, there is a merit called Eat Food. It's 2 dots. You can eat food. A lot of other vampires are going to think that's fucked up because you can just eat food. And every once in a while, if your humanity is high enough, because the higher your humanity, the more you enjoy being a person, you'll be able to actually enjoy that food. Provided you stick to your convictions. And we're going to talk about convictions at the beginning of session 1, because then that's when we get to make the people in your lives, and that is when we will begin our story.
So, okay,
Yeah.
sorry. We get how many merits?
So it's it's at the very bottom under advantages on your character cheat sheet.
Oh, my character.
So advantages are just merits. Then?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, advantages are merits and flaws, essentially. Yep. It's laid out really fucking weird in the book. Advantages is the over category, and then the merits and flaws are like how it's laid out.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And these are just like extra little like things like that. You can take that book with you, Adam,
Yeah.
to take a look through it. Okay. But I think we've got our characters. Everybody agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One moment. It just says we have like additional dots, like starting bonus if 10th or 11th generation. Is it only starting bonus dots?
Starting bonus, if you are 10th or 11th generation, you get the starting bonus. Everybody gets these 7 dots of advantages and the 2 dots of flaws.
And so just so I'm clear,
Absolutely.
it says 7 additional dots of advantages. So like we can pick here like some of these are like 2 dots, like a mix and match. Like
Correct.
we just take
Yep, you can mix and
up to
match and do
7?
whatever the hell you want.
Okay.
Yep. And you don't have to tell me what they are. If it comes up in play, I'm leaving it up to you to be like, I got that. I got a thing. And that's totally fine. If you want any recommendations, please let me know on DM. I am absolutely available to you, up to and including, I don't want to do this. I told you about my character, you do it. Okay? All right. So I think if everybody is good and comfortable and not looking at their pages, yes? Cool?
Yep.
Is everybody
Yeah.
pretty good?
Yep.
Yeah.
think
Okay.
so.
Does anybody have any last minute questions before I send you out into the night on your own? Yes, Cameron.
The book, Predator Types,
Yes.
lists a long series of like benefits and stats gained
It
as a result.
does.
Do we get those, or are we not
If
looking
you
at
want
those?
to, yes, I tried to streamline things with the cheat sheets. If you want to go to the book and do all of the work, yep, you
Okay.
do. If you want to do the work for everybody, absolutely.
Okay.
But I was trying to streamline with the cheat sheets.
I
Nope, that's totally cool. You are and are playing an academic, and I expected nothing less from you, sir. All right. Any last questions?
On the character sheet, it says backgrounds. Is that part of the advantages, merits thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. It is. So we're not going to be able to finish character creation tonight with the time that we have. So some of it is going to be kind of up to you and on your own to do the rest. But the cheat sheet that I provided, the character cheat sheet, gives you the page numbers. You all have access to all of the information that you will need in order to do that. And if you don't, that's fine. We can just make it the fuck up. Okay?
So really all we have to do for tomorrow
Yeah.
is pick our disciplines
Yep.
and then pick our merits and flaws,
Correct.
name,
Names would be good. Yeah.
and then like all this other stuff like chronicle, ambition.
Ambition is chosen at the beginning of each session.
Okay.
Yep,
And then
that's
predator
like-
is just like our feeding type. Is that predator? Like
Predator
I'm a
side,
farmer?
feeding side,
Yeah.
yep, farmer. Yep.
Okay.
That's it. So we will leave that for the beginning of session 1 when we begin our story. Thank you very, very much for joining us. This has been session 0 of our Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition chronicle, Not a Drop to Drink, A Tale of Vancouver Island by Night. I am Jacob Burgess. I will be your storyteller. I am a voice actor, a game writer, and the director of operations for Yusbert Games, which is an indie game company, published such games such as Valhalla, Cyberpunk Bartender Action. You can find me at Jacob Burgess VO and kicking around the Yusbert Discord, discord.gg/Yusbert Games. My players are
I'm Heather Deary. You can find me on twitch.tv/LearnJade or on Twitter, the same name.
I'm Cori Dickinson. You can find me at tiltyhouse.com or tilty.house.
Hi, I'm Adam. You can find me on Twitter at WakeUpSuper and also on Twitch at twitch.tv/cbats.
What's your last name in case nobody knows?
Savadan.
There
Sorry.
you go.
My name is Cameron Lauder, and you can find me on Twitter at Unarmed Oracle. It's an anagram of my name, or at twitch.tv/Unarmed Oracle, which is an anagram of my name with the letters from Twitch TV in it.
That's fucking rad. I never caught that ever. Anyway, thank you very much, and we will see you once again in the night for session 1 of our Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle. Thanks a lot. Stay safe.